Chapter 1350. What is this energy? Dongbo Shuiying sensed his surroundings. This hunting team of 51 cultivators was flying at a low altitude. Their surroundings were filled with unseen energy. One was controlling time-space and the other was more peculiar. It seemed to isolate the outside world from the outside world. It made it hard for the outside world to discover this team of theirs. Brother Hidden Horizon, I have activated my domain. Amen. Taoist Hidden Horizon presided over the situation. He turned to the other two cultivators, a gray-robed man and a cold golden-armored male. Barbarian insect, the two of you should act too. The gray-robed man nodded slightly. Waving his sleeves, many small insects flew out from the team in all directions. As for the cold, golden-armored man, the golden armor on the surface of his body suddenly disintegrated into densely packed mechanical creatures that quickly flew in all directions. Dongbo Shuiying watched by the side. He nodded inwardly. This is indeed the team of Taoist Hidden Horizon. Regardless of whether they specialize in domains or in long-distance scouting, they are quite skilled. Those insects and mechanical life forms could scout the team from afar. The team flew stealthily. Dongbo Shuiying and the others did not take the initiative to unleash their energy. Instead, it was completely controlled by that gray-robed man, barbarian insect. As they flew, Dongbo Shuiying and his team had long avoided the chaotic origin lifeforms when they encountered them. The team would occasionally fly at high speed, slow down at times, and detour around the chaotic origin lifeforms. During the first hour they did not meet any danger. Dongbo Shuiying felt as if he was out on a leisurely trip. That time when I first arrived in this sacred world, I was teleported to a place not far away from Scarlet Cloud City. I executed my void techniques to fly carefully and stealthily, yet I was soon ambushed. That time in the guiding hall, I've also seen the map. The chaotic origin lifeforms on the map are densely distributed across the entire place, yet we have yet to meet a single one after such a long time. Taoist Hidden Horizon has indeed chosen his subordinates carefully. There were specializations in every industry. Experts that came from many worlds had their own specialties. For instance, the subordinates of Taoist Hidden Horizon and Xiafan were at least at the grand perfection strength of God Emperor. After all, 80% of God Emperor's full-fledged battle prowess were present in Scarlet Cloud City. Those who were able to reach the peak of God Emperor's battle prowess had all reached an unimaginable level in their respective paths. In some aspects, they were even more outstanding than the three city lords. Big Brother Xiafan, this hunting team is established by Taoist Hidden Horizon. His subordinates and us are here. Ordinary dangers are not worth mentioning to us at all. If we want to scheme against that Fei Xue, it will be quite troublesome. Don't worry, Hidden Horizon's goal this time is the Mount Primal Chaos Serpent. It's an extremely dangerous place, so he limited the number of people in the team to at least 50. Because if it's too little, he won't be confident. Xiafan was relaxed and confident. When the true danger arrives, we just have to give them a slight push. Without the help of our comrades, it is impossible for God Emperor to survive against the encirclement of chaotic origin lifeforms with his grand perfection strength. Right, there are many opportunities along the way. Especially when hunting the Mount Primal Chaos Serpent itself is a huge danger. This Fei Xue is fortunate to survive through one or two dangers, but it's impossible for him to survive every single one. He is dead for sure. He even dares to join this team that is purposely hunting the Mount Primal Chaos Serpent. If I were him, I would be careful enough and join those teams that are hunting outside the city. Xiafan and the group of cultivators were discussing. According to Xiafan's plan, obtaining food was secondary. The most important thing was to borrow the hands of the chaotic origin lifeforms to kill Dongbo Shuiying. As long as they succeeded, Xiafan would be able to vent his anger. On the other hand, they knew that Dongbo Shuiying had at least 6 corpses of God Emperor Grand Perfection chaotic origin lifeforms. The value of those corpses was incredibly high. He is dead for sure. This Fei Xue is practically dead this time. Some of the other loose cultivators in the team sighed inwardly. Since he dares to offend Xiafan, he is seeking death. But the moment he dies, by then the treasures he left behind would be considered as the spoils of war for the entire team. I've heard that there are at least 6 corpses of God Emperor Grand Perfection chaotic origin lifeforms. By then we should be able to get quite a bit too. These loose cultivators were looking forward to it too. The 6 corpses added together was equivalent to food that could support a cultivator for several hundred billion years. Even if the entire team were to split the spoils, everyone would still reap a huge harvest. These loose cultivators did not have a good life. They did not have any friendship with Dongbo Shuiying. Hence, they would naturally watch coldly from the sidelines. They were happy to see Dongbu Shuiying fall, and the treasures would be split among them. Fei Shua dared to do this. He should have something to rely on. The only person in the team who could match Xie Fan in status, Taoist Hidden Horizon, glanced at Dongbu Shuiying. Reaching the strength of Taoist Hidden Horizon, his vision was naturally different. He was more than happy to give some help. If Dongbu Shuiying really had some powerful techniques to rely on, this bit of help would be worth it. Taoist Hidden Horizon's personality naturally made him a good person. Hidden Horizon, be careful. A group of ant dragons have sensed our team and are currently charging over. The gray-robed male transmitted. Ant dragons? How many are there? Taoist Hidden Horizon asked. There are a total of 86 that are charging over. And there are even more ant dragons rushing over from afar. The gray-robed male transmitted. Qingyu. Taoist Hidden Horizon ordered, bring everyone along with us. Yes. The fastest person in Taoist Hidden Horizon's team was called Qingyu. He was a gray-skinned, blue-horned male. He immediately released his energy. One could see a gray energy erupting from his surroundings, enveloping the entire team of 51 people. Following that, this gray energy enveloped the team. Their speed abruptly increased by more than 3 times. Dongbu Shuiying could feel the scenery around the team flickering continuously. The team's speed was rapidly increasing. He could not help but feel startled. Fellow cultivators, we have been discovered by the nearest chaotic origin lifeform. We have to advance with our fastest speed. Taoist Hidden Horizon transmitted. We have been discovered? We have to throw them off with our fastest speed. Which chaotic origin lifeform discovered us? Many cultivators did not panic. They had lived in Scarlet Cloud City for a long time and had come out to hunt many times. They were already used to encountering danger. Even if they died in battle, it merely represented that they had failed in their pursuit of the chaotic origin path. That time when they chose to leave their hometown for this world of despair, exiled world, or survival world, they were naturally mentally prepared. Either they succeeded, or he would eventually fall on this road. The ant dragons are obstructing us. Big Brother Hidden Horizon, should we charge? Or should we detour around them? Charge. Taoist Hidden Horizon directly ordered. The entire ant dragon tribe is huge. Now that they have discovered us, it would be more troublesome if we detour around them. He made his decision according to his subordinates. Very soon, Dongbu Shuiying and the rest of the team saw many chaotic origin lifeforms appearing ahead of them. These experts were called ant dragons by the cultivators in Scarlet Cloud City. They looked like ants, yet they had a long and sharp tail. Their tail was the most terrifying part of their body. These ant dragons relied on numbers to win. According to the intelligence reports, there were at least 100,000 ant dragons living in this vast region. There was even a high-graded chaotic origin lifeform, ant dragon, that was imprisoned here, because they were spread across a vast region. Dongbu Shuiying and the others were temporarily facing just a few dozen of them. Remember, don't seek to kill them. Just escape as fast as possible. Taoist Hidden Horizon transmitted an order. A large group of ant dragons. The smaller ones were about 100 meters tall, and their tails were 300 meters long. The biggest one was 1,000 meters tall. It was like a small mountain. All of them were madly charging towards Dongbu Shuiying and the others. In this sacred world, even though the cultivators hunted chaotic origin lifeforms, the chaotic origin lifeforms were similarly merciless towards the cultivators. The ant dragons immediately clashed with this hunting team. All sorts of techniques were unleashed. For instance, the team under Taoist Hidden Horizon and the team under Xie Fan had great teamwork. Taoist Hidden Horizon was still considered kind. He used some domain techniques to protect the loose cultivators and Dongbu Shuiying. Meddlesome. Xie Fan glanced at Taoist Hidden Horizon when he saw that. He thought, you might be able to help him temporarily, but I don't believe you can always help him during the entire journey. Today's first night. Recently he felt ashamed of himself. Tomorrow he would be more ruthless to himself. Fourth night. Star. Chapter 1351. The cultivators had an overwhelming advantage. In terms of individual strength, other than the 2 late-stage God Emperor, loose cultivators, the weakest was at the Grand Perfection God Emperor strength. And that group of chaotic origin lifeform, ant dragons were comparatively weaker. Even though they had strong survival capabilities, quite a few of them were at the middle stage God Emperor strength. Some were at the late-stage God Emperor strength and some were at the Grand Perfection God Emperor strength. Furthermore, the cultivators specialized in different techniques. They could coordinate perfectly with each other. With appropriate coordination, they would be able to unleash a powerful combat strength. Just like in the past when they rescued Dongbu Shuiying, a small team of 8 could easily suppress close to 100 Shadow Reapers. One could see how frightening a group of Grand Perfection God Emperor cultivators who could coordinate perfectly with each other were. At this moment, Taoist Hidden Horizon had an elite team under him. Xie Fan similarly led a group of elites who could coordinate well with each other. The other loose cultivators were mostly at the Grand Perfection God Emperor strength. As for the Ant Dragons, all of them had similar techniques. It was hard for them to complement each other, especially when the cultivators only wished to leave quickly. They were not interested in fighting. The moment they charged, they broke apart. The Ant Dragons were sent flying in all directions. They could not defend against them at all. Die. Xie Fan's aura spread out like a wave. The surrounding time-space was distorting. The 2 ant dragons that were rushing towards him were even affected by his domain. They could not help but fly towards him. One of the Grand Perfection God Emperor ant dragons roared. Could still struggle and resist. But the other late-stage God Emperor ant dragon was instantly closed in by Xie Fan. He punched on the chest of that ant dragon, causing its huge body to tremble. Following that, its soul and aura were extinguished. A single punch and he killed a late-stage God Emperor ant dragon? The situation was not too dangerous. Dongbu Shuiying could still observe his surroundings. Seeing the power of Xie Fan's punch, his eyes dilated. Even Cloud Phoenix City Master could not do this. He killed it with a single punch? He is indeed a Dao cultivator with a half-chaotic origin life-form body. Furthermore, he has the heaviest body in the entire Scarlet Cloud City. In terms of strength, he might be comparable to Cloud Phoenix City Master, but in terms of profundity, he has far surpassed the latter. With a single punch, the ant dragon was not injured at all, yet it had died. Dongbu Shuiying felt apprehensive inwardly. He dared to act so recklessly in Scarlet Cloud. Soft. With a flip of his hand, Xie Fan kept the ant dragon's corpse and continued to charge forward with the team. The team of cultivators had practically charged out of the obstruction of these ant dragons within 2 breaths of time. A total of 3 ant dragons had died, 2 with the combat strength of a middle-stage God Emperor and 1 with the combat strength of a late-stage God Emperor. Stage of the Demon Cultivator was Stage of God Emperor. Late of God of Stage. Emperor Stage of Emperor. After mission he killed Stage the Perfection he God Emperor Dragon. Emperor Stage. Formidable. Taoist Hidden Horizon glanced at Xie Fan. Each had their own specialties. In terms of close combat, Taoist Hidden Horizon, was far inferior to Xie Fan. He was only slightly better than most Grand Perfection God Emperor experts. Taoist Hidden Horizon was most proficient in domains. His domain technique also allowed the entire team to perform extremely well. With Xie Fan around, our chances of killing the Mao Primal Chaos Serpent will be much higher. Taoist Hidden Horizon thought. They flew at high speed. With the help of the cultivator, Qingyu, the team's flying speed far surpassed those dragon ants. We escaped. We escaped the encirclement. There's no danger now. The gray-robed man and the golden-armored man who were responsible for scouting the surroundings were sure that the team had escaped from the encirclement. If the battle had dragged on, a large number of other dragon ants would have quickly surrounded them. Once they were completely entangled, they would be dead meat. When hunting outside the city, the most fundamental point was that one must not be obsessed with fighting. Because there were too many chaotic origin lifeforms. The longer they dragged on, the more chaotic origin lifeforms would come. 100, 200, 500, 1000, if they dragged on for a day or two, it was normal for several tens of thousands of chaotic origin lifeforms to surround them. By then, no matter how strong the cultivator was, he would definitely die under the attacks of the chaotic origin lifeforms. Continue advancing. Taoist Hidden Horizon ordered. The team's speed abruptly decreased. The time-space domain once again enveloped the team. There was also a mysterious domain that enveloped the team, causing the team to seemingly disappear. This was the best way to advance. Only after 4 hours or so did they once again discovered. They did not seem to be obsessed with fighting. They continued advancing. This team is very strong. We did not meet any danger along the way. I came out to fight, firstly for food and secondly to temper myself. But this journey has been very relaxing. Dongbu Shuiying thought. That's right. This hunting team included the core members of Daoist Hidden Horizons team and Xiafan's team. They were naturally strong. Be careful. Daoist Hidden Horizons' voice spread across the team. A large group of poison demon dragons have discovered us. There are more than 300 of them currently rushing over. At that moment, a dusky energy enveloped the team. The team's speed abruptly increased. They did not care about being exposed. They were using their fastest speed to escape. More than 300 poison demon dragons? Many cultivators in the team were startled. Poison demon dragon was the name they gave to a chaotic origin lifeform. Chaotic origin lifeforms specialized in different techniques, and the degree of threat they posed to the cultivators was different. And the poison demon dragon was one of the lifeforms that posed a higher degree of threat. More importantly, they had encountered so many of them this time. If it were an ordinary hunting team, some of their members might die if they encountered more than 300 poison demon dragons. Fortunately, this team was strong enough. They are here. Prepare for battle. Fellow cultivators, you must work together as one. Daoist Hidden Horizons solemnly transmitted. Hong 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 hong. A group of extremely fast figures appeared on the left. The poison demon dragon was entirely gray. It looked like a crawling dragon. Its entire body was filled with sharp spikes. There were even many spikes on its back that looked like a huge fan. Its tail was very long and it was filled with spikes too. Sweeping across it, Dongbo Shuiying could ascertain that there were a total of 1.8 million spikes on the body of the poison demon dragon. And all of these spikes were filled with lethal poison. It was a poison that could cause the expressions of most Grand Perfection God Emperor cultivators in Scarlet Cloud City to change. Because the spikes were filled with lethal poison, the threat posed by the poison demon dragon was sufficiently high. Kill. The eyes of the poison demon dragon that was charging at the front were cold. They were similarly intelligent and did not show any mercy to the cultivators. Kill. Suddenly black and white ribbons appeared on the surface of Daoist Hidden Horizons' body. The black and white ribbons flew out in all directions, rapidly entangling the poison demon dragons. Those poison demon dragons that were entangled by the ribbons had their flying speed greatly reduced. Daoist Hidden Horizon specializes in domain techniques, but he relies on his bloodline energy instead. Dongbo Shuiying understood from the intelligence that the black and white ribbons could maintain their strongest power when binding 9 enemies. When the number of enemies exceeded 9, the power of the black and white ribbons would also decrease. Many black and white ribbons were scattered around the team. Around Dongbo Shuiying, there was a black and white ribbons floating as well. However, it did not bind the enemies. Only during crucial moments would it help to bind the enemies. Because if too many enemies were bound at the same time, the power of the binding would decrease greatly. Feishua brat, we are here to save you. Xiafan laughed. He led the 15 experts under him and charged towards Dongbo Shuiying's direction. Because they were all in the team in the blink of an eye, Xiafan and the other 15 experts had surrounded Dongbo Shuiying. With the 17 of them gathered together, which was a third of the team, they naturally attracted the attacks of over 100 poison demon dragons. Bang bang bang. Honk. In Xiafan's team, some utilized their domains, some transformed into countless phantoms, some emitted sound waves, some fought head-on, some attacked from afar. They perfectly coordinated with each other. Because they were strong enough, coupled with the help of their comrades, this team of 16 was able to perfectly defend against the encirclement of the large group of poison demon dragons. They had too much experience. As for Dongbo Shuiying, although he was also in the team, none of the 16 experts helped Dongbo Shuiying. Dongbo Shuiying also had 7 poison demon dragons attacking him at the same time. It was very normal for 7 poison demon dragons to attack him at the same time. Most cultivators would encounter such a situation. However, the other cultivators were helping each other, which greatly reduced the pressure on them. However, Dongbo Shuiying did not help at all. Perhaps, this large group of poison demon dragons might be able to kill him. Xiafan sneered inwardly. With a casual punch, he killed a late-stage God Emperor poison demon dragon. With a single palm strike, he sent a full-circle God Emperor poison demon dragon flying. In the entire battlefield, only Xiafan had such tyrannical might. Chapter 1352. On the battlefield, Xiafan had the highest efficiency in killing chaotic origin lifeforms. This infuriated some of the poison demon dragons. Pu piu piu. More than 10 perfect class God Emperor poison demon dragons began attacking Xiafan from all sides. Occasionally, the poisonous spikes on their bodies would fly out and stab towards Xie Fan. Xie Fan didn't even bother to dodge. His extremely heavy body created a domain that greatly reduced the speed of those poisonous thorns. When they pierced Xie Fan's body, they couldn't even pierce through his skin. Xie Fan was the right-hand man of City Governor Weatherleaf, because he was the one in Weatherleaf's team who was the most capable of resisting all enemies. These Grand Perfection God Emperor chaotic origin life forms besieging him? Xie Fan didn't put them in his eyes at all. With his control over his body as a Tao comprehender, these poison demon dragons were unable to injure him. Although he wasn't injured, he was momentarily pinned down. Die. Xie Fan leisurely faced the enemy, and he was also paying attention to the situation on Dongbu Shui Ying's side. What? That damned hidden horizon. Xie Fan's expression changed. Dongbu Shui Ying was indeed in a terrible state. He only had the fleshly body of a late-stage God Emperor. Among the cultivators present, he was ranked towards the back. 1 versus 7? 3 God Emperor Consummate Stage Poison Demon Dragons, 4 God Emperor Advanced Stage Poison Demon Dragons, and most importantly, the poisonous stingers that they shot out were the greatest threat to the Poison Demon Dragons. How could Dongbu Shui Ying dare to resist them? He could only wield his spear and execute his spear techniques, using all sorts of moves to block the surrounding poison spikes and the Poison Demon Dragons. Not good. If there were no thorns, he could still hold his ground against the Poison Demon Dragon. However, with so many poisonous stingers flying towards him, Dongbu Shui Ying had to divert most of his attention to defend against them. For a moment he was in a difficult situation. Suddenly, 7 poison demon dragons shot out their poisonous stingers at the same time, causing Dongbu Shui Ying to be greatly shocked. Chi! Suddenly, a black ribbon floating in the surroundings suddenly coiled and swept away all the poisonous thorns that had suddenly shot over. So strong. Dongbu Shui Ying was surprised and overjoyed at the same time. He was well aware of the power of the venomous thorn, and the fact that the black and white ribbons were able to engulf the venomous thorn completely showed how powerful they were. By relying on this domain-like technique, Taoist Hidden Horizon status was comparable to Xie Fan. Dongbu Shui Ying dealt with it in a dangerous manner. From time to time, the poison demon dragon would strike Dongbu Shui Ying's body with its claws, but the layers of the void around him were all useless. In the end, the claws would land on Dongbu Shui Ying's body. Under the claws, black flames would rise and Dongbu Shui Ying would be sent flying, coughing up blood. Taoist Hidden Horizon was clearly not helping them all the time. Usually he would allow Dongbu Shui Ying to be injured if it was not fatal. Only at the most crucial moment would he lend a hand. Previously, when Dongbu Shui Ying was being attacked by so many venomous spikes, he should have been hit by at least a batch of them. With so much venom entering his body, it was even more terrifying than being slapped by the claws of the Dongbu Shui Ying. Poison Demon Dragons. Scarlet Cloud City's cultivators were most afraid of their poisonous stingers. They fought and fled at the same time. Dongbu Shui Ying and the rest were extremely fast. In addition to the continuous deaths of some of the God Emperor Middle Stage and God Emperor Late Stage Poison Demon Dragons, the obstruction of the Poison Demon Dragons was constantly decreasing. Finally, the hunting squad managed to shake off these Poison Demon Dragons and fled at high speed. We killed a total of 21 God Emperor Middle Stage Poison Demon Dragons and 80 God Emperor Late Stage Poison Demon Dragons. Dongbu Shui Ying thought, what a pity, there wasn't even a single God Emperor Grand Perfection Stage Poison Demon Dragon. In terms of value, the total number of Poison Demon Dragons they killed couldn't even compare to a single God Emperor Grand Perfection Stage Poison Demon Dragon. Because in terms of size, the value of a God Emperor Grand Perfection Stage Poison Demon Dragon was extremely high. It was about 10,000 times more valuable than a God Emperor Middle Stage Poison Demon Dragon. It was about 200 to 300 times more valuable than a God Emperor Late Stage Poison Demon Dragon. Depending on the race, there would be some fluctuations. No other choice. Even if Xie Fan wanted to kill a God Emperor Grand Perfection Stage Chaotic Origin life form, he had to depend on the race and the survival capabilities of the other party. Furthermore, he had to fight, one-on-one, with sufficient time. Like when a large group of chaotic origin life forms work together, the moment a God Emperor Grand Perfection Stage chaotic origin life form suffered heavy injuries, it would immediately retreat. It was very hard to kill it. This was also the reason why Dongbu Shui Ying's flame lineage chaotic origin life form corpse might not exist in the sacred world, but it was very precious. That was the reason why Xie Fan could only obtain 6 God Emperor Grand Perfection Stage corpses and 1,000,000 cubic meters of food. Even so, it made the eyes of quite a few cultivators turn red. Xia Fan wanted to kill him. Firstly, it was for his reputation. Secondly, it was for the sake of those 6 God Emperor Grand Perfection Stage Chaotic Origin Lifeform corpses. Brother Hidden Horizon, many thanks. The team resumed flying stealthily. Dongbo Shuiying transmitted a message to Taoist Hidden Horizon. Taoist Hidden Horizon glanced at Dongbo Shuiying before transmitting back. Younger brother Fei Shue, you don't have to thank me. I'm just doing my best to help you. If the situation worsened, I'll definitely do my best to protect these good friends of mine. I understand. Dongbo Shuiying was clear too. In terms of relationship and responsibility, Taoist Hidden Horizon had to protect his own team members first. It was rare for an outsider like him to help out. As they continued flying, in the blink of an eye, it had been a day since they left Scarlet Cloud City. Even though they met some dangers, they were not as dangerous as those poison demon dragons. From day to night and from night to day. Hoo, snow fell from the sky, scattering across the vast wilderness. Dongbo Shuiying and his team continued flying stealthily. Fellow Taoists, according to our investigations, there are some Mount Primal Chaos Serpents ahead. There are a total of 32 of them, and 15 of them are at the Grand Perfection level of God Emperor. Taoist Hidden Horizon transmitted, this time the main reason why I established this hunting team is to kill a Mount Primal Chaos Serpent at the Grand Perfection level of God Emperor. There aren't many Mount Primal Chaos Serpents ahead, and they pose little threat to us. As long as we succeed in killing them, we'll immediately return. Just 32 of them? This will be easy. 15 of them are at the Grand Perfection level of God Emperor. We have about 50 God Emperor Grand Perfection level serpents. Everyone present let out a sigh of relief. Mount Primal Chaos Serpents were considered one of the more noble bloodlines among chaotic origin lifeforms. In terms of individuals, they were far more difficult to deal with than the poison demon dragons. They were the most terrifying and troublesome enemies they met along the way. But they could not overcome the fact that they were few in numbers. In terms of threat, they were much lower than that group of poison demon dragons. Is going so smoothly this time? Xia Fan slightly frowned. The journey this time was more than a day away from Scarlet Cloud City, yet only the poison demon dragons could barely be considered a threat? And they only discovered 32 Mount Primal Chaos Serpents? If there were more than 100 of them, then Dongbo Shuiying would undoubtedly die. But now Xia Fan had no other choice. He did not dare to directly act against Dongbo Shuiying within the team. The moment he did so, he would be challenging the unwritten rules of the entire Scarlet Cloud City. Coming out to hunt was fraught with danger. And to kill each other? From now on, who would dare to let him enter the team? Oh. The team rapidly got closer. That group of Mount Primal Chaos Serpents sensed it too. They similarly rushed over furiously. Man? The expression of the gray-robed man changed slightly. He transmitted over, Hidden Horizon, the other Mount Primal Chaos Serpents in the distance have also received the news. They are currently rushing over here. The closest group has a total of 69 Mount Primal Chaos Serpents. We have to resolve this as soon as possible. The longer we delay, the more Mount Primal Chaos Serpents that are rushing over. Mount Primal Chaos Serpents had a relatively noble bloodline. Their numbers were slightly lesser too. Even though they were not like the Ant Dragon which had more than 100,000 of them, the number of Mount Primal Chaos Serpents that were rushing over should reach 700 to 800 in an hour. That was sufficient to kill all of them. Furthermore, other than the Mount Primal Chaos Serpents, other chaotic origin lifeforms that were closer to them would also rush over. Keep a close watch of the surroundings. The moment things go south, we must immediately escape. Taoist Hidden Horizon transmitted over to the gray-robed man and the cold golden-armored male. Yes. The two of them were responsible for scouting the surroundings and understanding the situation. Who? Finally, the team met with a group of Mount Primal Chaos Serpents. The Mount Primal Chaos Serpent had a snake head on each end of its body. It did not have a tail. Or rather, the snake head was its tail. Its wriggling body seemed illusory and translucent. Only the two snake heads were the most savage. Kill? The team charged forward. Devour these cultivators. This group of Mount Primal Chaos Serpents all had strange auras. They were faintly discernible in the void as they charged towards Dongbo Shuiying and the others. Follow the original plan. Taoist Hidden Horizon transmitted over to his subordinates. Taoist Hidden Horizon was a cultivator with a good temper. At this moment, killing intent surged in his eyes. This time he was determined to obtain the Mount Primal Chaos Serpents. Chapter 1353. The battle broke out instantly. There were only 32 Mount Primal Chaos Snakes, and only 15 of them were at God Emperor Peak Stage. The rest were all late God Emperor Peak Stage. Dongbo Shuiying and the others had a total of 47 Perfection Stage God Emperor Combat Strength, 2 God Emperor Late Stage Combat Strength, and Xia Fan and Daoist Hidden Horizon were 2 of the strongest experts in Scarlet Cloud City. The coordination between the cultivators was also excellent. But he only had a slight upper hand on the battlefield. Brother Feishu, let us help you. Don't be afraid, we're here. Xia Fan and the rest of the 16 were still surrounding Dongbo Shuiying. While they were fighting against the Mount Primal Chaos Serpent, they were purposely letting the serpent loose, not helping Dongbo Shuiying at all. A God Emperor Max level Mount Primal Chaos Serpent was fighting against Dongbo Shuiying. This is the Mount Primal Chaos Serpent? Dongbo Shuiying was not angry. Instead he was happy. The reason he came out was to sharpen himself. Hua! This Mount Primal Chaos Serpent's body was translucent like an illusion. It easily coiled around Dongbo Shuiying. Because it was illusory, the body of the Mount Primal Chaos Serpent could not be touched at all. It was as if it did not exist. However, after the illusory body coiled around his body, Dongbo Shuiying felt that the pressure on him from the surroundings had increased significantly, causing his strength to drop by half. This cultivator die. The Mount Primal Chaos Serpent had a head and a tail, and one of its heads was like a rock. It forcefully smashed over with abnormally terrifying might. As for the other head, there was a black light revolving around it. Its movement speed was so fast that it left behind many afterimages. Every time it opened its mouth, Dongbo Shuiying would be so frightened that he would execute his spear art to defend himself. He would definitely not dare to be bitten. The Mount Primal Chaos Serpent had 2 heads. One was as heavy as a mountain and indestructible, while the other was ghostly and poisonous. Once bitten, an ordinary cultivator at the peak stage of God Emperor would lose half his life. Just a few bites and he would probably die. This Mount Primal Chaos Serpent. His body was untouchable and could not be injured at all. Of the 2 snake heads, one was like a mountain. It was impossible to injure it. Up until now, no one had been able to break through the stone skull of God Emperor's Mount Primal Chaos Serpent. Only the other poisonous head was the only hope of killing it. The poisonous head contained the life core of the Mount Primal Chaos Serpent. Once the poisonous head was broken, the Mount Primal Chaos Serpent would die. Dongbo Shuiying was bound by the illusory body, causing his strength to be reduced by half. Facing the consecutive attacks from the 2 snakeheads, he could only barely hold his ground. This is just one Mount Primal Chaos Serpent. Fortunately, my spear skills are good enough to block it. Dongbo Shuiying did not dare to be careless. He displayed all his spear skills with all his might. As for killing him, he had no intention of killing them. Even Xia Fan, who had the strongest offense amongst the 51 cultivators present, could only kill the slightly weaker God Emperor Grand Perfection Chaotic Origin Lifeform in a one-on-one battle. For example, God Emperor's Mount Primal Chaos Serpent at the Grand Perfection level had to be surrounded and attacked. At this moment, Daoist Hidden Horizon and a total of 12 cultivators were working together to attack a single Mount Primal Chaos Serpent. The other cultivators in their team were defending against other Mount Primal Chaos Serpents and creating a good environment. The 12 of them worked together. Daoist Hidden Horizon's black-white domain was fully suppressing that Mount Primal Chaos Serpent. Hong. The thunder sword light slashed down. Ho! An enormous illusory head appeared. It let out a roar, sending shockwaves at the Mount Primal Chaos Serpent. All sorts of attacks came one after another. That Mount Primal Chaos Serpent that was surrounded twisted its body. Its illusory body blocked the incoming attacks, causing all attacks to weaken after passing through its illusory body. That indestructible, stone head, also became huge. It swallowed the poisonous head into its mouth. One head bit the other, forming a ring shape. Kill. Daoist Hidden Horizon and the others could only send their shockwaves at the stone head, transmitting them into the poisonous head, in its mouth. The 12 cultivators had long prepared a plan. But when they truly acted, they still found it hard to deal with. It is too hard to kill. Its primal chaos body can easily dissipate a large amount of attacks. There is also the undying head protecting that poisonous head. Fortunately, Daoist Hidden Horizon and the others could sense that they had indeed injured that hidden poisonous head. The injuries of this Mount Primal Chaos Serpent were worsening. Because of this, they had the confidence to continue. Hidden Horizon, the closest wave of 69 Mount Primal Chaos Serpents is rushing over. I'm afraid we won't be able to kill this Mount Primal Chaos Serpent before they arrive. Hidden Horizon, why don't we ask that Xiafan for help? When Taoist Hidden Horizon heard the voice transmission of his comrade, he became anxious. The moment those 69 Mount Primal Chaos Serpents arrive, the number of Mount Primal Chaos Serpents here would rise to 101. Even though their team could still hold on, they would definitely be at a disadvantage. And this was only the closest wave. There were still more waves of Mount Primal Chaos Serpents rushing over. Xiafan. Taoist Hidden Horizon transmitted. What? You can't deal with it and want my help? Xiafan transmitted with a strange smile. What condition? Taoist Hidden Horizon asked. Previously, you have been spoiling my plans and helping that Feishua. Xiafan sneered. I can stop helping you. Taoist Hidden Horizon transmitted back. This Mount Primal Chaos Serpent was related to his cultivation. You had to get it? Xiafan transmitted back. We didn't meet any huge dangers on the way here. If there aren't any huge dangers on the way back, even if you don't help him, he might still survive. Furthermore, if you don't help him, he would only lose a helping hand, that's all. This isn't enough for me to help you. What condition? Just say it. Taoist Hidden Horizon transmitted back. 2 Grand Perfection God Emperor Chaotic Origin Life Forms. Xiafan transmitted. You. Taoist Hidden Horizon was inwardly infuriated. I can give you 1,000,000 cubic meters of food. This is the highest I can accept. His accumulation was relatively small. A total of 3 God Emperor Grand Perfection Chaotic Origin Life Forms. But the moment he succeeded in killing them, he would definitely choose a Mount Primal Chaos Serpent after returning. He had to compensate for the other 50 people in the team. Just to compensate, he had to take out all 3 God Emperor Grand Perfection Chaotic Origin Life Forms and share them with everyone. Because a Mount Primal Chaos Serpent was equivalent to 3 other Chaotic Origin Life Forms at the same level. 1,000,000 cubic meters? Are you insulting me? Xiafan sneered. 1 God Emperor Grand Perfection Chaotic Origin Life Form. I'll temporarily owe you 1. I'll find a chance to compensate you in the future. Taoist Hidden Horizon transmitted back. Just 1? And you still owe me temporarily? I think you should just slowly kill it yourself. Xiafan sneered. Because Taoist Hidden Horizon had helped Dongwu Shuang previously, he was originally unhappy. Furthermore, the benefits Taoist Hidden Horizon gave him were too little. Even though Taoist Hidden Horizon was furious, he had no other choice. He could only continue attacking that Mount Primal Chaos Serpent with his companions. Hurry up and help me. Help me. This Mount Primal Chaos Serpent began asking for help. At that moment, the surrounding Mount Primal Chaos Serpents rushed over. Even the serpent that was originally attacking Dongwu Shuang had rapidly abandoned Dongwu Shuang and rushed over to Taoist Hidden Horizon. Block them. Xiafan, all of you must not watch by the side. Taoist Hidden Horizon and the others became anxious. Dongwu Shuang and the other loose cultivators naturally flew over to help block the serpents. Xiafan and the other 15 sneered. But they still had to act against those Mount Primal Chaos Serpents. Xiafan and the others were casually attacking. Xiafan, there is another batch of 69 Mount Primal Chaos Serpents coming over. I hope for you to help me once. Let them come. As for helping you, 2 Grand Perfection Chaotic Origin Life Forms from God Emperor. Xiafan sneered. He was more than happy for the danger to increase. Even if another 69 serpents came, he believed it would not be a problem for him to protect himself. By then, when the number of Mount Primal Chaos Serpents exceeded 100, that Monarch Feishua would most likely die. Wouldn't everything within the storage treasure of Monarch Feishua end up in their hands? Even though the treasures of Monarch Feishua would become the spoils of war for the entire team if he died, Xiafan and the others had a total of 16 cultivators. According to their contributions along the way, they might be able to get close to half of the treasures. Come. Xiafan was looking forward to it. Finally. Kill these cultivators. Kill them. From afar, a group of Mount Primal Chaos Serpents broke through the sky. They let out roars that reverberated across the world. A total of 69 serpents came. Their power was overwhelming. The moment they joined in, the entire situation changed. Xiafan and the other 15 cultivators were doing their best to defend. But the 16 of them remained surrounding Dongwu Shuang and did not help him at all. He is doomed. This Feishua is most likely going to die. Those loose cultivators were all cooperating with the others. They did not dare to join in. They were originally weak, so what if they joined in? Some of them might even die. Feishua, I can't help you anymore. You have to be careful. Taoist Hidden Horizon transmitted. No other choice. Taoist Hidden Horizon was in an even worse situation. Because that Mount Primal Chaos Serpent they were currently fighting was letting out a cry for help, causing more than half of the Mount Primal Chaos Serpents to surround Taoist Hidden Horizon and the others. At this moment, Taoist Hidden Horizon was extremely nervous. He unleashed his black-white domain with all his might. Black-white ribbons spread out, binding those Mount Primal Chaos Serpents time after time so that they could finish their encirclement. He has no companions to help him. It seems he has been isolated. Let's kill him first. The Mount Primal Chaos Serpents were incredibly intelligent, especially the group of Mount Primal Chaos Serpents that were fighting against Xie Fan and the other 15 cultivators. They discovered that Dongbo Shuiying had been isolated. At that moment, 3 Grand Perfection God Emperor Mount Primal Chaos Serpents separated and attacked Dongbo Shuiying. They were too lazy to care about the internal strife between the cultivators. As long as they could kill a cultivator, even killing one would make them go crazy. Just like how cultivators wanted to kill chaotic origin lifeforms for the sake of food. The chaotic origin lifeforms similarly desired to kill cultivators. Peng peng peng. Previously, Dongbo Shuiying had a hard time dealing with a single Mount Primal Chaos Serpent. At this moment, 3 Grand Perfection God Emperor Mount Primal Chaos Serpents assaulted him, forcing him into a desperate situation. Chapter 1354. Amidst the desperate situation, Dongbo Shuiying struggled to defend. He executed his spear to the limit. Peng. That rock-like head of the Mount Primal Chaos Serpent was just like a small mountain ramming against Shuiying. Shuiying flew backwards. 3 bones in his body were broken, causing him to spurt out fresh blood. But closely following that, his body rapidly recovered. Now this is dangerous enough. Dongbo Shuiying was in a frenzy. This time, when he fought against the poison demon dragon, he was in a perilous situation. That time he had also sharpened his spear techniques. It allowed him to feel that even though his Tao of Void had improved, he still discovered some problems in battles of life and death. And now the situation was even worse. As Dongbo Shuiying was risking his life, he was also discovering the problems with his Tao of Void. In order to reach the half-chaotic origin lifeform body, not only did his fleshly body reach the pinnacle beneath chaotic origin lifeforms. His spear techniques that contain the Tao of Void should similarly reach the pinnacle. Perfecting his spear techniques, perfecting his fleshly body, actually they were all improvements in Tao. Just 3 breaths of time later, Dongbo Shuiying no longer dared to continue fighting. If this continues, my injuries will be too severe. I doubt I can maintain my peak state for too long. Dongbo Shuiying thought. Let's erupt. My strongest fleshly body. Let me fight with all my might. Let me test out my spear techniques. Hong. The aura on Dongbo Shuiying's body abruptly surged. As Xie Fan defended against the Mount Primal Chaos Serpent, he was also paying attention to Dongbo Shuiying. Haha, he is completely being trampled on. Even though his spear techniques are not bad, he will definitely die within the time taken to brew a cup of tea. Following that. Hong. What? Xie Fan watched with shock. At this moment, Dongbo Shuiying's body expanded to a height of about 10 meters. His entire body was covered in gray light. He was originally handsome, but now he became much more muscular and muscular. His aura was also vigorous and violent. This aura was not much weaker than Xie Fan's. Half-chaotic origin lifeform body? Xie Fan was startled. No, his aura is violent and unstable. He should not have truly reached the level of a half-chaotic origin lifeform body, yet he could barely erupt to this stage. He could maintain this level of physical body for a short period of time. It belonged to having 1 foot over the threshold. Get lost. Shuiying lashed out with his spear technique. Many circles of space revolved, slapping on the stone head of a Mount Primal Chaos Serpent by the side, causing that Mount Primal Chaos Serpent to roll backwards. After the explosion of his physical body. As someone who comprehended the laws and profound mysteries, his strength in the Tao of Void could temporarily remain at the level of Xie Fan and Taoist Hidden Horizon. Ping. Ping. With a clear advantage in strength, he naturally easily repelled the 3 Mount Primal Chaos Serpents. With Dongbo Shuiying's strength, it would probably take 8 to 9 God Emperor Great Circle Mount Primal Chaos Serpents to work together to hold him back. Awesome. Awesome. Dongbo Shuiying displayed his spear techniques without restraint. The same marksmanship. When one's fleshly body was strengthened to a whole new level, the power they could display was completely different. Fan and the rest of the 16 were completely stunned. No wonder he dared to not give me any face. Is this what he is relying on? Fan thought when he saw this. I can sense that his body is very unstable. Even his aura is somewhat chaotic. He definitely won't be able to maintain this state for long. When he is unable to hold on, I want to see what he will do. Big brother Fan, we are in trouble. Given his strength, even if he can maintain it for a short period of time, that Taoist hidden horizon will definitely help him. Fan's subordinates could sense that the situation was bad. Fan snorted coldly. Actually, he understood in his heart. A Great Circle God Emperor, Great Circle expert and a peak expert who could maintain his strength for a short period of time, their statuses were completely different. This Fei Xue is actually so strong? With such strength he should not be much weaker than Fan. At the very least he should be on the same level. Right, Fan's battle style is more tyrannical and powerful. This Fei Xue's techniques are more unfathomable and unpredictable. He is similarly good at close combat. The unaffiliated cultivators were stunned by what they saw. The one who was the happiest was Taoist Hidden Horizon. When Taoist Hidden Horizon saw the 10 meters tall Dongbue Shuiying, his heart involuntarily raced. What a good monarch Fei Xue. I was thinking why he dared to not give face to Fan and Mo Shu. Even after knowing that Fan had joined the hunting squad, he still dared to come. What is he relying on? So it turns out that he is able to erupt with such strength for a short period of time. Monarch Fei Xue, is there any way to penetrate the stone head of the Mao Primal Chaos Serpent and attack the poisonous head in its mouth? Taoist Hidden Horizon transmitted. There is. Dongbue Shuiying transmitted back. He had long comprehended a Tao of Void technique that could directly penetrate into the body of his enemy. Please help me kill this Mao Primal Chaos Serpent. It is already heavily injured and only has 30% of its life force left. Taoist Hidden Horizon anxiously transmitted. Even though it only had 30% of its life force left, the offensive techniques of his companions were relatively weaker. Naturally they could not compare with Dongbue Shuiying. As long as you help me kill this Mao Primal Chaos Serpent, I'm willing to give you a Grand Perfection Chaotic Origin Lifeform Corpse of God Emperor as thanks. But I'll have to wait for some time before I can give it to you. Taoist Hidden Horizon transmitted back. Haha, it's just a small matter. Dongbue Shuiying wielded his spear. He stepped on the void and charged over. Because the other cultivators were also fighting with some Mao Primal Chaos Serpents, Dongbue Shuiying did not meet any huge trouble along the way. He easily sent 1 or 2 Mao Primal Chaos Serpents flying. Following that, he charged into the group of Taoist Hidden Horizon and the others. Please help me. Taoist Hidden Horizon and the others had many techniques. They were either restraining or infiltrating the serpent. He is here. Dongbue Shuiying took a big step forward. He lashed out with his spear at the enormous stone head of that Mao Primal Chaos Serpent. At this moment, the stone head was currently swallowing its poisonous head and protecting it. Wang. An unseen ripple immediately permeated through the obstructions and entered the poisonous head. Hong Long Long. The injuries of this Mao Primal Chaos Serpent immediately worsened. Hurry up and save me. Save me. This Mao Primal Chaos Serpent let out a cry for help. Alright, hurry up and continue. Taoist Hidden Horizon felt great joy when he saw that. Their efficiency of surrounding the serpent was too slow. At this moment, with the help of Dongbue Shuiying, their efficiency had clearly skyrocketed. Peng peng peng. The spear in Dongbue Shuiying's hand continued hacking down furiously on the head of that Mao Primal Chaos Serpent. It wanted to dodge and escape. But it had long been trapped and could not escape. It could only passively endure the bombardment. There were also some strange energies that were continuously permeating into its poisonous head, corroding it. Ping ping ping. Dongbue Shuiying struck out a total of 21 times before the soul aura of that Mao Primal Chaos Serpent was completely extinguished. That enormous stone head also loosened its mouth, allowing the poisonous head to come out. The stone head naturally shrunk, and the poisonous head naturally became bigger, returning to its original size. Ha ha ha. Taoist Hidden Horizon felt great joy. He waved his hand before keeping the corpse of this Mao Primal Chaos Serpent. At the same time he transmitted to every member, the Mao Primal Chaos Serpent is in our hands. Fellow cultivators, hurry up and escape. Let's go. Go. The various parties no longer continued fighting. As they fought, they were doing their best to escape. The advantage of fighting while escaping was that they could choose their own escape route and try their best to throw off the other chaotic origin lifeforms that were surrounding them. Other than that Mao Primal Chaos Serpent which Taoist Hidden Horizon kept, they killed another 9 God Emperor late-stage Mao Primal Chaos Serpents. Only then did Dongbui Shuiying and his hunting team finally shake off the other chaotic origin lifeforms and escape. Haha, we finally escaped. Taoist Hidden Horizon was currently grinning from ear to ear. He was in a great mood. Dongbui Shuiying had long regained his normal appearance. At this moment he was only left with slightly more than 20% of his life force. He was constantly absorbing the pieces of chaotic origin crystal jades to recover at the fastest speed possible. After all, he might have to fight at any moment on the way back. This chaotic origin refinement body of mine is still flawed. Currently, the moment I erupt, I have to maintain my body at least 10 meters tall. Dongbui Shuiying thought. This was already the smallest body he could maintain. His body was not stable and he could not shrink his body any further. Humph. Xie Fan glanced at Dongbui Shuiying with slight disdain. Xie Fan was unhappy that he could not kill this Feishua. But he understood, with the current strength of Dongbui Shuiying, in addition to the fact that Taoist Hidden Horizon and his team were doing their best to help Dongbui Shuiying, they had no hope at all. At the same time when this hunting team returned, a vast river. Many mutated beasts walked out from the river. They were densely packed together. All of their auras were grand. They were all at the Grand Perfection God Emperor realm, and there were a total of 500 of them. After they walked out of the river, a tall and big male walked out from the river. His entire body was covered in scales that were similar to those mutated beasts. He had crimson eyes. As he stepped on the void would tremble and distort. His wrists and ankles were shackled. The shackles extended into the void. As he walked out of the river, the golden inscriptions on these shackles gradually lit up. The shackles also turned bright red. Many golden inscriptions lit up, emitting chi-chi-chi sounds. Endless power was pressing down on his body. Damn overlords. There will be a day when all the territories under you overlords will be destroyed, leaving behind only you overlords. This tall and big male gritted his teeth. After he walked out, a large number of mutated beasts followed behind him. They were all at the Grand Perfection God Emperor realm. A total of 1,000 chaotic origin lifeform guards. This was clearly a patrol by a chaotic origin prisoner. Every single chaotic origin prisoner suffered from torture day and night. The only way to alleviate this torture was to kill the cultivators. Amen? The tall and big male suddenly turned towards a direction. He had received news from the chaotic origin lifeforms under him that there was currently a team of cultivators in the distance. Fourth watch completed. Chapter 1355. Cultivators? The crimson eyes of that tall and big male flashed with coldness. Regardless of whether it was because killing the cultivators could alleviate the torment he suffered from the days and nights of imprisonment, or because of his hatred towards the cultivators, he would do his best to kill the cultivators. Whoa! The tall and big male said. South, amidst the 1,000 God Emperor Grand Perfection chaotic origin lifeform protectors, a mutated beast flashed to the side of that tall and big male. It respectfully lowered its head. King! The chaotic origin prisoner was a high-graded chaotic origin lifeform. He was also the undisputed leader of this branch of hidden devil hunters. The tall and big male indifferently said, Currently, there is a team of cultivators not too far away from us. Lead 500 protectors and order them around according to my orders. Yes. Hidden devil hunter, Wu respectfully acknowledged. Very soon. The 500 hidden devil hunters rapidly left. They could communicate with their leader through their soul at all times. This was also one of the techniques of high-graded chaotic origin lifeforms. I hope they don't escape this time. The tall and big male then led his subordinates in another direction. According to his experience over the long years, these cultivators were extremely slippery. The moment they discovered danger, they would explode with a frightening speed to escape for their lives. Every hunting team would specially invite a cultivator who specialized in speed. Their speed far surpassed other cultivators at the same level. Even those chaotic origin lifeforms could not match up to their speed. Precisely because of their advantage in speed, the cultivators could escape from their pursuers time and time again. That tall and big male had deliberately sent 500 subordinates to chase away the team of cultivators, causing them to fall into a trap. Even so, it was uncertain if they could succeed. The snow that was the size of goose feathers still covered the entire land, causing the entire wilderness to be covered in white snow. Dongbui Shuiying and the other 51 cultivators did not leave behind any traces of aura. They stealthily proceeded forward. Brother Feishua, this time, It is all thanks to you that I could obtain the Mount Primal Chaos Serpent. Taoist Hidden Horizon and Dongbu Shuang walked side by side. Those subordinates of Taoist Hidden Horizon who originally did not like Dongbu Shuang treated him politely at this moment. Even without me, Brother Hidden Horizon should be able to obtain it after spending some time. Dongbu Shuang chuckled. You can't say that. The longer I delayed, the more chaotic origin lifeforms that would rush over. Even though I might be able to kill that Mount Primal Chaos Serpent, according to the previous situation, I might not be able to kill it in time. I had to give up and choose to escape. The entire team of cultivators is definitely not willing to fall into a desperate situation. Taoist Hidden Horizon said. Everyone was willing to take on some dangers. But if they were to watch helplessly as they fell into a desperate situation, even the subordinates of Taoist Hidden Horizon would choose to resist and flee for their lives. Haha, if you feel that you owe me something, wait until we return to Scarlet Cloud City. Just give me another Grand Perfection Chaotic Origin Lifeform Corpse of a God Emperor. I wouldn't mind it either. Dongbu Shuang teased. You want to give more? As for the one that I promised you, I will have to temporarily put it on credit. I hope that I can kill a few along the way. Taoist Hidden Horizon curled his lips. The two of them chatted casually and were in a good mood. Hidden Horizon, we have been discovered by more than 80 hidden devil hunters. The gray-robed man transmitted. We have been discovered? Taoist Hidden Horizon frowned. How many Grand Perfection God Emperor Hidden Devil Hunters are there? My initial judgment is that God Emperor Hidden Horizon is close to half the Grand Perfection lifeforms. The gray-robed man said. Then let's kill them. This time we have killed fewer prey. Let's kill more on the way back. Taoist Hidden Horizon was calm. Taoist Hidden Horizon then transmitted to all the cultivators. Fellow cultivators, we have been discovered by a team of hidden devil hunters. There are a total of more than 80 of them, and close to half of them are God Emperor Grand Perfection lifeforms. Let's prepare to fight. More than 80? They are hidden devil hunters? Everyone in the team was relaxed. They did not care. Hidden devil hunters were a relatively huge tribe. According to estimations, there should be more than 50,000 hidden devil hunters. Such a huge tribe. Their bloodline was not considered noble among the many chaotic origin lifeforms. Their strength was ordinary too. For instance, a Mount Primal Chaos Serpent could fight against 3 hidden devil hunters of the same level. Just 80 or so hidden devil hunters. That was a complete sweep. Brother Feishue, you have to help us out. Let's work together and kill 1 or 2 God Emperor Grand Perfection lifeforms. Taoist Hidden Horizon transmitted. Alright, the reason why I came out is because I want to get more food. Dongbu Shuang answered. This time, other than that Mount Primal Chaos Serpent, they had yet to kill any other Grand Perfection lifeforms of God Emperor. Oh. The battle erupted after a short moment. Dongbu Shuang and the other Grand Perfection lifeforms of God Emperor Grand Perfection lifeforms outnumbered these chaotic origin lifeforms. Under perfect coordination they were able to sweep through everything. And this time, with Dongbu Shuang cooperating with Taoist Hidden Horizon and the other Grand Perfection lifeforms of God Emperor Grand Perfection Hidden Devil Hunter, they managed to kill one of them. Hong. Dongbu Shuang, who grew to a height of 10 meters, gave off a berserk aura. His spear hacked down on the head of the hidden devil hunter, causing its head to cave in. That hidden devil hunter's soul aura was finally extinguished. Success. It's dead. Taoist Hidden Horizon and the others were overjoyed. Dongbu Shuang also let out a sigh of relief. His body immediately shrunk back to his original size. Just 10 breaths of time later, he had consumed 20% of his life force. The life force that he had just recovered by relying on the chaotic origin crystal jades had decreased once again. This is truly not easy. With Taoist Hidden Horizon restraining me, a group of Grand Perfection God Emperor Grand Perfection lifeforms working together, and even with my full strength, I still spent 10 breaths of time killing a Grand Perfection lifeform of God Emperor. Dongbu Shuang sighed inwardly. Hidden devil hunters were one of the most ordinary chaotic origin lifeforms, yet killing a Grand Perfection God Emperor Grand Perfection lifeform was so taxing. What? Xia Fan felt slightly jealous when he saw that. He and his subordinates could not even kill a God Emperor Grand Perfection lifeform. No other choice. Taoist Hidden Horizon and Dongbu Shuang could both exert the strength of the apex experts in Scarlet Cloud City. Ultimately, Xia Fan was just a single person. Hidden Horizon. Xia Fan could not help but transmit, "Help me too." Taoist Hidden Horizon's black-white domain was extremely effective in suppressing the strength of the enemy. You finally know to ask for my help? Taoist Hidden Horizon glanced at the distant Xie Fan. The two of them exchanged glances. If you help me by then when the Scarlet Cloud Hall spirit distributes the spoils, you will be given more. Xie Fan transmitted. Other Apex experts in Scarlet Cloud City would usually want their face. Previously, both parties had an ugly relationship, and it was impossible for them to ask Taoist Hidden Horizon for help. But Xie Fan did not care about his face. Previously he had torn apart all pretense of cordiality. Turning around he was smiling and negotiating. You are begging me? Taoist Hidden Horizon transmitted. All right, I'll help you. Many thanks, many thanks. Xie Fan grinned again. But we can't stay here for too long. When we meet the next wave of chaotic origin life forms, I'll help you. Taoist Hidden Horizon said. Fellow cultivators, let's continue our journey. Don't continue fighting. Taoist Hidden Horizon ordered. They could not continue fighting outside the city. They had to end the battle within a short period. This hunting team led by Dongbu Ying rapidly fled once again. The team was filled with laughter. Many cultivators were in a good mood because they had just killed a Grand Perfection God Emperor. But suddenly, what? Taoist Hidden Horizon's expression changed. He stared at the distant gray-robed man. Are you sure you saw wrongly? That's right. The gray-robed man nodded. What happened? The other cultivators turned to Taoist Hidden Horizon. Taoist Hidden Horizon anxiously transmitted to everyone. There are more than 800 hidden devil hunters who discovered us. They are currently chasing after us. Furthermore, there are more than 600 God Emperor Grand Perfection life forms. In reality, they were the 500 protectors sent by the Chaotic Origin prisoner. Along the way, these 500 protectors had also met some small groups of hidden devil hunters. They gathered together, forming a huge team of more than 800 hidden devil hunters. What? More than 800 hidden devil hunters? There are more than 600 God Emperor Grand Perfection life forms? They were all stunned. They even felt chills in their hearts. Hidden devil hunters were relatively ordinary. This team of cultivators was confident of fighting against 200 God Emperor Grand Perfection life forms hidden devil hunters to a standstill. When they encountered 300 God Emperor Grand Perfection hidden devil hunters, they were confident of escaping even if they had to fight. 400 of them? The moment they fought, there would definitely be casualties in the team. 500 of them? The team suffered heavy casualties and it was normal for half of them to die. More than 800 or even more than 600 God Emperor Grand Perfection life forms. The moment they fought. If they were lucky, a few might survive. If they were unlucky, they might be wiped out. Run, run, run. Xie Fan roared, hurry up and flee. Hurry up. Taoist Hidden Horizon ordered. So, a gray light enveloped the entire team. Their speed rose to the limit as they frantically fled. Chapter 1356. How could this be? Why would we meet such a huge group of hidden devil hunters? More than 800 of them, and more than 600 of them are actually at the Grand Perfection level of God Emperor? The ratio of God Emperor to Grand Perfection level is too high. Our luck is too bad. We actually met such a terrifying group of hidden devil hunters. The team was fleeing at their fastest speed. All of them were anxious and filled with disbelief, because it was too rare to meet such a huge group of chaotic origin life forms. Most of the time, they would only gather at places close to the territory of the chaotic origin prisoner. The route they took along the way was carefully arranged. They were very far away from the territory of any chaotic origin prisoner. At this moment, what the cultivators in this hunting team did not know was that they had coincidentally met with a chaotic origin prisoner, patrolling. The chaotic origin prisoner was patrolling at a place that was relatively close to them. That was why they were able to make arrangements. If that chaotic origin prisoner was in his territory, they were very far away. Even if they received the news, they would not be able to rush over in time. Fellow cultivators, don't worry. We have discovered those 800 over hidden devil hunters ahead of time. They are still quite far away from us. Our current speed is much faster than theirs. Hence, we should be able to shake them off in a short while. They can no longer sense us. Taoist Hidden Horizon transmitted. Amen. Let us hurry up and shake them off. Even though they were still quite far away, they could not feel at ease if they did not shake them off. Because the moment they caught up to them, it would be a calamity. But it seemed that the luck of the cultivators was quite average. Not long after they fled. Not good, there is a group of white stone gods ahead. More than 200 white stone gods have discovered us. The cold golden-armored male anxiously said at this moment. What, white stone gods? Taoist Hidden Horizon was greatly startled. I reckon more than half of them are at the grand perfection level of God Emperor. The cold golden-armored male added. Taoist Hidden Horizon felt incredibly anxious. White stone gods were much stronger than the hidden devil hunters. A single white stone god was equivalent to 2 hidden devil hunters of the same level. Now there were 200 white stone gods. In terms of strength, they were not inferior to their team of hunters. The white stone god is attacking from the front, and the hidden devil hunter is attacking from the back. If we take a detour, it's very likely that the distance between us and them will decrease. The cold golden-armored man transmitted, Hidden Horizon, this is the distribution map of the other clans that we've discovered in the surroundings. Those clans haven't discovered us yet. Yes. Taoist Hidden Horizon pondered over the distribution of the surrounding chaotic origin lifeform tribes. Now there were 2 groups who had discovered them. Behind them was a terrifying group of more than 800 hidden devil hunters. There was a group of 200 white stone gods in front of them. The distance between them was rapidly shrinking. There were other clans around that did not notice them. The distance between us and the hidden devil hunters is still rather far. As long as we put in our all, we will have sufficient time to charge out of the obstruction of white stone god. Taoist Hidden Horizon instantly made his decision. Follow him. Taoist Hidden Horizon immediately transmitted the situation to every cultivator in the team. What? There's still the white stone god? There are 200 white stone gods ahead. All of them panicked. The situation this time was really bad. Right now, the best solution is to charge forward with our fastest speed. The group of hidden devil hunters is slightly further behind us. We have the confidence of breaking through the obstruction of white stone gods before they catch up to us. Taoist Hidden Horizon transmitted. All right. Charge. Everyone had also obtained the distribution map of the surrounding clans. They knew this was the best choice. Brother Feishue, I know you can't maintain your peak strength for too long, but you have to give it a try. Taoist Hidden Horizon transmitted. Rest assured. Dongbo Shuang nodded. He was the calmest in the entire team. Because to him, this was a journey to temper himself. He did not feel that the 800 hidden devil hunters behind him were in much danger. They are here. Prepare for battle. Because both parties were charging at each other, the team of cultivators and the group of white stone gods soon met. The white stone gods were giants that were formed from white rocks. There were big and small ones, and all of them were humanoid. They even wielded weapons in their hands. Some were stone rods and some were stone axes. There were even stone hammers. All sorts of weapons were made from white rocks. Go. Kill these cultivators. Over 200 white stone gods roared. They wielded their gigantic weapons and charged towards Dongbo Shuang and the rest. Dongbo Shuang and the rest of the cultivators also erupted with power. They coordinated perfectly, using restraining techniques to deal with the white stone gods, some using sinister techniques to interfere with them, and some using combined techniques. All sorts of strange techniques were used. Dongbo Shuang had also transformed into a 10-meter-tall giant. His skin was glowing with a gray light. At this moment he was combining all sorts of profound techniques. The strength he could unleash was not any weaker than a grand perfection god Emperor White Stone God. His techniques were strange and far superior. Go. He easily sent a white stone god flying far away. The white stone god somersaulted in midair and landed on the ground, causing the earth to tremble. Quick, let's shake them off. Taoist Hidden Horizon released his black and white domain. The black and white ribbons spread out, affecting the entire battlefield. Very soon, the team of cultivators broke through the obstruction of this group of white stone gods. The moment they broke through, they immediately shook off their pursuers and fled at high speed. The group of hidden devil hunters is getting closer to us. Those present did not dare to relax at all. According to their investigations, the distance between them and the group of hidden devil hunters had shrunk by more than half. This body of mine can only last for a short period. Dongbo Shuang had also returned to his normal size, though he was left with only 20% of his life force. No other choice. Even if his body was in perfect condition, he could only last for the time taken to brew a cup of tea, even if his fleshy body completely disintegrated. This fleshy body of mine can't even last for a slightly longer battle. Dongbo Shuang shook his head inwardly. What? No. The gray-robed man's expression abruptly turned pale. His eyes were filled with shock and fury. Everyone in the team turned to him. Even Taoist Hidden Horizon was stunned. He immediately asked, "Barbarian insect, what happened?" "Prisoner." The gray-robed man transmitted to everyone. He said with slight despair, "Chaotic origin prisoner. Just ahead, there is a chaotic origin prisoner leading more than 700 hidden devil hunters. It is the chaotic origin prisoner of the hidden devil hunters." I understand now. Everything is a scheme, a scheme. It should be coincidentally when this prisoner went out for a patrol, and this chaotic origin prisoner discovered us. Hence, he sent a large group of hidden devil hunters to chase us away. We are being chased away according to the direction it wants us to go, yet this prisoner is leading his subordinates to kill their way over. We are doomed. We are doomed. The team turned silent. They were all stunned. Their hearts were filled with despair. I have been cultivating all my way from my hometown planet to becoming the #1 expert in the cosmos. I have even jumped out of the restraints of the cosmos. Step by step, I have seen many cultivators from different civilizations fall. Today, am I going to fall too? A loose golden-robed old man muttered to himself. The prisoner went out for a patrol. We are doomed. Many cultivators recalled their lives at this moment. They chose to come to this world because they were prepared to die. But when this day came, they felt complicated in their hearts. They understood the current situation. This was a chaotic origin prisoner, going out for a patrol and coincidentally discovered them. Hence he had laid down a scheme for them. In fact, this kind of thing also happened in history, but it was very, very rare. Because there were only a few chaotic origin prisoners in the entire sacred world. They would usually stay in their territories. The moment they left their territories, the torture and punishment they would suffer would be heavier. Hence, it was rare for them to go out for a patrol. And it was rare for a prisoner to appear. Their team of cultivators would only come out for a hunt once after they had gathered together. Coincidentally? The probability was low. But it had happened before in history. Hidden Horizon. Xiafan's eyes were filled with madness. He directly transmitted to Hidden Horizon, "At this moment, there is only a single path of survival. That is to split up. The group of hidden devil hunters is chasing after us. And in front of us, there are more than 700 hidden devil hunters led by the chaotic origin prisoner. We will die if we split up. We can only escape in two directions. Given their numbers, if we escape together, we will definitely die. We have to split up. Who knows, we might be able to survive if we split into several teams." Taoist Hidden Horizon looked at Xiafan. "Yes, split up. By then you and I will pick out the elites in our team and form a team of not more than 10 people. Xiafan continued, "This hunting team of ours has a total of 51 people. If we form a team of not more than 10 people, I believe there won't be too many hidden devil hunters chasing after us. Our team has gathered the strongest elites, and it is possible for us to escape alive." Taoist Hidden Horizon hesitated. "Who should we pick?" "This is a name list that I have come up with." Xiafan immediately passed over a name list through his communication treasure. "What, there is no Monarch Faciua?" Taoist Hidden Horizon felt puzzled. He is only left with 20% of his life force. The time he could maintain his peak combat strength is clearly short. With just 20% of his life force, the time he could maintain it is ridiculously short. We are escaping for our lives, and it is possible for us to be chased after. Xiafan transmitted, "It is better to let him stay in another team. His chaotic aura is unable to be concealed. Instead, it will attract more attention." Saying it was slow. But in reality, the two of them were communicating at a rapid pace. "I have to amend this name list." Taoist Hidden Horizon gritted his teeth. There were a total of 9 people on the name list. He and Xiafan took up 2 spots, leaving only 7 spots. Xiafan's subordinates and his subordinates had to give up many of them. This caused Taoist Hidden Horizon to feel grief and indignation. But he also understood that this was indeed their only hope. Kill these cultivators. Kill them. The group of hidden devil hunters in front of them had already appeared in their vision. As they moved towards each other, the distance between them rapidly shrunk. Many hidden devil hunters arced through the sky, charging towards them. Behind them, a tall and big man could be faintly seen. That tall and big man's wrists and ankles were shackled with shackles. Golden runes were constantly appearing on the shackles, as though an incomparably terrifying pressure was suppressing this tall and big man. That tall and big man coldly looked at everything. He watched as the densely packed hidden devil hunters under him charged towards that hunting team. If we scatter and escape, we might still have a chance of survival. Xiafan suddenly transmitted his voice in anger. He and Taoist Hidden Horizon immediately brought along 7 other cultivators, turning into streams of light and escaping without hesitation. What? When the other cultivators saw this, they understood that Xia Fan and Taoist Hidden Horizon had given up on the other cultivators. Dongbo Shuiying was startled. Following that, he felt enlightened. That's right. He was only left with 20% of his life force. He could not maintain his peak fleshy body for too long. Flee. Some cultivators chose to flee. Risk it all. Let's gamble with our lives. Perhaps we might break through to the chaotic origin level after dying. Some cultivators stood at their original positions. They felt disdain from fleeing. Many cultivators chose different Daos. Interesting. Dongbo Shuiying softly shook his head. He took a step south, arcing through the sky. Dongbo Shuiying took the initiative to welcome the incoming group of hidden devil hunters. Illusory Realm Descent. Dongbo Shuiying looked ahead. He extended his hand and pressed down. Honk. Chapter 1357. Many hidden devil hunters arced through the sky towards the cultivators in front of them. They naturally split up. Of course, Dongbo Shuiying and the others were at the center and did not escape. In the opinion of the hidden devil hunters, they could reach the cultivators in the shortest time. Hence, more than half of the hidden devil hunters charged in the direction of Dongbo Shuiying and the others. Dongbo Shuiying took a step and arced through the sky. He arrived at the forefront and took the initiative to welcome this large group of hidden devil hunters. He extended his right hand and pressed down. Illusory Realm Descend. With a thought, Dongbo Shuiying unleashed his strongest killing technique in the Tao of Mirage and Illusory Realm. Hong. A huge illusory realm descended. What is this? These chaotic origin life forms, hidden devil hunters, could feel an illusory world pulling their souls frantically. It was trying to drag their souls into that illusory world, causing them to sink into oblivion. These hidden devil hunters instinctively resisted. One could see some of the weaker middle-stage God Emperor hidden devil hunters that were originally flying through the sky were smashed onto the ground. Their life aura was extinguished and they died on the spot. Even 2 of the late-stage God Emperor hidden devil hunters had lost their consciousness as they smashed onto the ground. They similarly died. In the blink of an eye. Of the 200 over hidden devil hunters that charged towards Dongbo Shuiying, 29 had died in an instant. As for the other hidden devil hunters like the late-stage God Emperor hidden devil hunters, some were left with 30% to 40% of their original strength. The weaker ones were left with 10% to 20%. As for the Grand Perfection hidden devil hunters like the God Emperor hidden devil hunters, they had to expend a large amount of heart force to resist. Their strength had dropped by a huge chunk, approximately half of what it was previously. How could this be? King, there is a terrifying world pulling our souls. It wants to drag our souls into that enormous world. King, I am only left with 10% of my original strength. Some of the late-stage God Emperor hidden devil hunters were so frightened that they began retreating. Their intelligence was incredibly high. They were clear that they were only left with 10% to 20% of their original strength. If they encountered those cultivators, they would be easily slaughtered. God Emperor Late Stage and God Emperor Mid Stage retreat. A voice rang out in the minds of all the hidden devil hunters. It was the king's voice. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Even those hidden devil hunters who had yet to enter Dongbo Shuiying's mirage and illusory world, as long as they were at the late and middle stages of God Emperor's strength, began to retreat. Because of this, a miraculous scene unfolded on the battlefield. When Dongbo Shuiying took a step forward and took the initiative to meet the group of hidden devil hunters, he stretched his hand out in front of him. Immediately, 29 of the hidden devil hunters lost control and crashed into the ground, dying instantly. Moreover, over 100 of the weaker hidden devil hunters immediately retreated in fear. The only ones who still dared to attack were God Emperor Grand Perfection. A huge world. As for the tall man standing at the back, the shackles on his wrists and ankles were shackled with mysterious golden patterns. The heavy punishments were constantly suppressing and torturing him, but he had long since gotten used to it. At this moment he was very surprised. A huge world dragging the soul? This is a technique that targets the soul. Furthermore, it has a large area of effect. As long as one enters that region, he would be attracted by that huge world. The tall and big male pondered, in this world there is actually an expert who is so powerful in the soul aspect? I have never heard of him before. The tall and big male was clear. Even though he was a high-graded chaotic origin life form, He could easily wipe out all cultivators in this world if he was not suppressed. But he was imprisoned and tortured. The further he was from his territory, the stronger the suppression and punishment he would suffer. For instance, if he walked to the Scarlet Cloud City, his strength would fall to a stage where any cultivator could kill him. In this world, other than the strongest chaotic origin prisoner, the Sea of Abyss Master, the other chaotic origin prisoners were extremely cautious when they went out for patrol. The further they were from their territory, the more protectors they would bring. This soul domain technique is useless in front of him? The tall and big male frowned slightly. Behind Dongbo Shuiying, there were 18 cultivators who did not flee. They were prepared to fight to the death. They even harbored a strand of hope in their hearts, that they might be lucky enough to break through to the chaotic origin lifeform realm before death. However, just as they were about to risk their lives in battle, everything that Shuiying did in front of them made them dumbstruck. This. What is going on? I don't see any technique at all? They were all stunned. Dongbo Shuiying had indeed extended his hand and pressed down. It seemed as if he had made a move, but soul techniques could not be seen by the naked eye. Dongbo Shuiying's Tao of Mirage and Illusory Realm had evaded the cultivators on his side. Hence, these cultivators could not understand what technique Dongbo Shuiying had executed. He was still far away, yet he had yet to touch those hidden devil hunters. 29 of those hidden devil hunters had died, and more than 100 had fled in fright. This was something they had never heard of before. Unfathomable. Go. Those Grand Perfection God Emperor hidden devil hunters were incredibly fast. They had arrived in an instant. Because they were the closest and Dongbo Shuiying and the others did not flee, they were the first to engage in battle. More than 50 hidden devil hunters surrounded Dongbo Shuiying. There were even hidden devil hunters attacking other cultivators. Fight. Dongbo Shuiying ordered, fellow cultivators, don't worry. Their strength has greatly decreased. There is nothing to worry about. Dongbo Shuiying wielded a spear. Who? Even if he did not unleash his peak fleshy body, his fleshy body was at the late stage God Emperor realm. Being a Tao cultivator, he could completely unleash the strength of God Emperor Grand Perfection. Furthermore, those cultivators who were prepared to fight to the death were also displaying their techniques and helping one another. Ping. Dongbo Shuiying casually swung his spear, sending a hidden devil hunter flying. With his spear flying, Dongbo Shuiying executed the Void Devil Insect movement technique, causing his figure to turn blurry. Although there were more than 50 hidden devil hunters surrounding him, at most 7 or 8 of them could attack Dongbo Shuiying at the same time. Dongbo Shuiying easily blocked their attacks. The strength of these hidden devil hunters had greatly decreased. They were only at the late stage God Emperor Grand Perfection. They're so weak. Why are they so weak? It feels like their strength is only at the late stage God Emperor Grand Perfection. However, their fleshy bodies are still very strong. They are even at the God Emperor Grand Perfection. The cultivators who were prepared to fight to the death were shocked to discover a problem. These hidden devil hunters, who originally had the aura of the God Emperor Grand Perfection, still possessed heaven-defying fleshy bodies and life force. They were still at the God Emperor Grand Perfection. However, their offensive techniques had greatly decreased. With the help of one another, the 18 of them and Dongbo Shuiying, a total of 19 cultivators, were able to completely suppress the more than 200 hidden devil hunters. Emperor Feishue, what kind of technique is this? Too powerful. These hidden devil hunters are all greatly weakened. Let alone 200, I feel like we can easily suppress even 500 or 600 of them. A metallic giant wielding a huge hammer sent a hidden devil hunter flying with a single swing. Ping ping ping. 7 or 8 hidden devil hunters were sent flying in a row. It was a complete sweep. Emperor Feishue, I'm truly impressed. Monarch Flying Snow, our lives have been saved by you. They had thought that they were doomed. Now that they saw hope, they were all extremely excited. At the same time, they were filled with admiration for Dongbo Shuiying's methods. Such methods, even the 3 city lords did not have them. Let us go and save the others. Dongbo Shuiying transmitted. Listen to Emperor Feishue. Emperor Feishue will save whoever you say. All of them transmitted. Dongbo Shuiying and the others who remained at their original position were the first to engage in battle. As for the other cultivators who were fleeing in different directions, they were also paying attention to the situation of their companions. Similarly, they had witnessed Dongbo Shuiying's unimaginable methods. First, he single-handedly killed 29 hidden devil hunters from afar, causing more than 100 of them to flee. Then, he led 18 cultivators and actually suppressed more than 200 Great Perfection Stage God Emperor Hidden Devil Hunters? Every single Hidden Devil Hunter seemed to have become extremely weak, and they were easily defeated. Stop fleeing. When Taoist Hidden Horizon saw this, his heart was shaken. He immediately made a decision and transmitted to his subordinates, hurry up and return. Rendezvous with Emperor Feishua. That is our path of survival. Return. Taoist Hidden Horizon and Xiafan's group of 9, Taoist Hidden Horizon and the other 7 did not hesitate to return. Xiafan hesitated for a moment. But soon after he no longer hesitated and charged towards Dongbu Shuiying. Chapter 1358. Amongst the fleeing cultivators, Taoist Hidden Horizon and Xiafan's team was the most decisive in fleeing, and also the furthest away. The other cultivators were slightly dazed after being abandoned. Only after that did they make a decision to either flee or remain at their original location. Even if they were to flee, they were still not too far away. Furthermore, Dongbu Shuiying had already led 18 cultivators to reinforce them. Quick, let's go and meet up with Monarch Feishua. Hold on. As long as we hold on and meet up with Monarch Feishua, we will be able to survive. They also rushed towards Dongbu Shuiying. However, a large number of hidden demon hunters had spread out to hunt down the cultivators. Soon a battle broke out. These hidden demon hunters were not affected in the slightest, and all of them maintained their peak combat power. The group of 8 cultivators was in a miserable state. They were simultaneously attacked by more than 50 hidden demon hunters, and even though they were helping each other, they soon found it difficult to hold on. Quick, Monarch Feishua and the others are about to arrive. Hold on. They were all doing their best. But suddenly, the strength of the 50 hidden devil hunters in the surroundings suddenly plummeted. As they clashed, the hidden devil hunters were either bound, sent flying, or suppressed. They have become weaker. It feels like they are only at the late stage of God Emperor. These cultivators were overjoyed. Their team of 8 were all at the grand perfection stage of God Emperor. At this moment they felt that the surrounding hidden devil hunters were too easy to deal with. They were easily suppressed. Other than the hidden devil hunters having an extremely strong life force that was hard to kill, they had become weaker in other aspects. Meet up with us. Dongbu Shuiying led 18 cultivators over. All right. I'm coming. Monarch Feishua, thank you for saving our lives. Monarch Feishua, this move of yours is too formidable. Furthermore, it is so far away. These hidden devil hunters are all greatly weakened. Not a single one of them is able to withstand a single move from me. These cultivators were all extremely excited. When they looked around them, there wasn't a single individual who could match them. This type of feeling was just too great. All of them were grateful to Dongbu Shuiying, and they also admired him. Admiration. It was admiration for the strong. They were clear how heaven-defying this technique that could sweep across a large region of chaotic origin lifeforms was. Once Emperor Feishua returned to Crimson Cloud City, his status would skyrocket. If Emperor Feishua was willing to establish a squad, a large number of cultivators would be willing to join. Dongbu Shuiying led the cultivators to rescue them. As long as they were within his mirage and illusory realm domain, they would be able to save them. However, this was because they had fled in different directions. It would be troublesome to rescue them. 3 cultivators still died. After Dongbu Shuiying saved many teams, there was only one team left. The team of 9 led by Taoist Hidden Horizon and Xiafan. Actually, it was because Dongbu Shuiying had always been flying around to rescue them that prevented Taoist Hidden Horizon and the others from meeting up with Dongbu Shuiying. Of course, he had deliberately placed the team led by Taoist Hidden Horizon and Xiafan at the very end. Firstly, it was because Taoist Hidden Horizon and Xiafan took the initiative to abandon the other cultivators. Secondly, this team was the strongest team amongst the 51 cultivators and could last longer. Brother Feishua, I was wrong previously. Hurry up and help us out. We can't hold on any longer. Taoist Hidden Horizon and the other 8 cultivators were currently suffering from a total of 80 hidden devil hunters. Taoist Hidden Horizon and Xiafan were both apex experts in Scarlet Cloud City. With the 2 of them around, the other 7 could complement each other and barely hold on. Monarch Feishua, should we save them? That Xiafan has schemed against you time and time again. They have all abandoned us previously. The cultivators transmitted to Dongbu Shuiying. They were waiting for Dongbu Shuiying's orders. Clearly, these cultivators that were saved by Dongbu Shuiying treated Dongbu Shuiying as the absolute pillar of the team. Even though quite a few of them had once followed Daoist Hidden Horizon and Xiafan, they were absolutely standing on the side of Dongbu Shuang. Even though they understood the choices made by Daoist Hidden Horizon and Xiafan. But when Daoist Hidden Horizon and Xiafan abandoned them, their feelings for each other had disappeared. Some cultivators even felt hatred and anger. Save them first. That chaotic origin prisoner is still watching from afar. Dongbu Shuang transmitted. All right. Save them. Under Dongbu Shuang's order, everyone acknowledged. Monarch Feishue, the 800 over hidden devil hunters that are chasing after us from another direction are about to reach us. But the middle and late stage God Emperor have retreated. There are still 600 over Grand Perfection God Emperor hidden devil hunters charging over. The cold golden armored male transmitted to Dongbu Shuang. He was also one of the abandoned targets. The team chosen by Daoist Hidden Horizon was sufficiently simple. There was only one that specialized in scouting, that gray-robed man, barbarian insect. The other group of hidden devil hunters is about to arrive? Dongbu Shuang felt his heart tightening. Adding both sides together, there were about 1,200 Grand Perfection God Emperor hunters. Even though their strength had greatly decreased, there were still too many of them. Furthermore, there was still that chaotic origin prisoner. Dongbu Shuang had always been vigilant against the chaotic origin prisoner. At this moment he did not even unleash his strongest fleshy body. Instead, his body was constantly absorbing chaotic origin crystal jades to recover his strength. This was all in preparation for the threat of the chaotic origin prisoner. Hurry up. Brother Feishue, hurry up. We can't hold on any longer. Daoist Hidden Horizon anxiously said. Dongbu Shuang and the others were also rushing over with all their strength. At this moment, more and more hidden devil hunters were attacking the team of Daoist Hidden Horizon. 1. Before the Mirage and Illusory Realm domain enveloped the team, another cultivator had fallen. This caused the number of cultivators that died to reach 4. They have become weaker. Daoist Hidden Horizon, Xiafan, and the others discovered this point with shock and joy. Xiafan even glanced at Dongbu Shuang who came to reinforce them. Many thoughts flashed through his mind. This monarch Feishue actually has such unfathomable techniques. Even though he is slightly weaker in direct combat with such techniques, his ability to rally supporters in Scarlet Cloud City would most likely be stronger than the 3 city masters. Xiafan felt regretful. But it was too late. After all, he had severely offended this monarch Feishue. Monarch Feishue, I have offended you previously. It is all because of my foolishness. It is all my fault. Just treat me as a fart and let me go. Xiafan transmitted to Dongbu Shuang. When Dongbu Shuang heard Xiafan's transmission, he was slightly startled. No matter what, he was one of the apex experts in Scarlet Cloud City. Yet he did not care about his reputation at all. Previously, the other party had tried to deal against him several times. If not for his strength, he would have died. Brother Feishue, I am ashamed, truly ashamed. Daoist Hidden Horizon immediately apologized. Let's deal with the chaotic origin prisoner first. Dongbu Shuang said. Right, there is still the chaotic origin prisoner. At this moment, this team was absolutely centered around Dongbu Shuang. With Monarch Feishue around, we will definitely survive this time. Xiafan even raised his voice. Who knows, we might even be able to kill that chaotic origin prisoner. Everyone has to listen to the orders of Monarch Feishue. If anyone dares to be negligent, I, Xiafan, will be the first to not let him off. Dongbu Shuang took a deep breath. He had finally witnessed how shameless Xiafan was. Truly shameless. The Xiafan. The other cultivators were speechless too. At the same time when Dongbu Shuang and his team of cultivators converged. From another direction, another batch of over 600 God Emperor Grand Perfection hidden devil hunters rushed over. They are all here. That tall and big male who was not in a rush to act nodded slightly when he saw that, as long as we get rid of that person who specializes in soul techniques, the other cultivators will definitely die. Wah! That tall and big male strode forward. He stepped on the void at an incredibly fast speed. He was surrounded by a large number of hidden devil hunters protecting him. At this moment, approximately 1,200 God Emperor Grand Perfection hidden devil hunters were madly surrounding Dongbu Shuang and the others. Even though they were much weaker, their bodies were tyrannical and did not fear death. Welcome the enemy. Dongbu Shuang stared at that tall and big male sternly. That tall and big male brought with him an incomparably heavy pressure. It felt as if he was carrying an entire world as he moved forward. He was constantly enduring the endless pain and pressure. And the expression of this tall and big male was incredibly calm. His crimson eyes were only staring at Dongbu Shuiying. Clearly, in the eyes of this chaotic origin prisoner, this white-robed young cultivator was his true opponent. Chapter 1359. Dongbu Shuiying and the other cultivators felt their hearts tightening. High-graded chaotic origin life forms. That was a true chaotic origin expert. Cultivators who cultivated on the path of bloodline would become a high-graded chaotic origin life form. Even though they were suppressed and punished, they still felt suppressed despite the strand of strength they had left behind. It was like a huge dragon bound by shackles looking down on some ants. The tall and big male stepped on the void. His voice boomed across the world, "White-robed brat, your soul technique is quite formidable. I have been imprisoned in this world, yet who would have thought that I would meet a cultivator like you here? If I could kill you, it would be a huge harvest too." The moment he finished speaking, his figure abruptly disappeared. But the shackles and shackles could still be seen clearly. The shackles and shackles had golden inscriptions revolving on them. The shackles even extended into the void. Even though his strength has been suppressed to an extremely low level, his execution of techniques far surpasses ours. Dongbu Shuiying understood this point. It is hard to see him even when he is concealed. Fortunately, the shackles and shackles have exposed him. The shackles and shackles could only expose the whereabouts of the other party. At this moment, how did that tall and big male attack? What kind of weapon did he use? None of them knew. If a sword pierced over, they would most likely not know. Protect Monarch Feishue well. Taoist Hidden Horizons solemnly transmitted. Do your best to protect Monarch Feishue. If Monarch Feishue dies, all of us will undoubtedly die. The cultivators did not dare to be negligent. Taoist Hidden Horizon even released his black-white domain. One could see layers of black-white ribbons revolving around him, protecting Dongbu Shuiying. Under the cover of those black-white ribbons, that tall and big male who was originally concealed was revealed. Suppression again? The tall and big male frowned as he glanced at Taoist Hidden Horizon. Taoist Hidden Horizon cultivated his bloodline. His strength had reached the level of the apex experts in Scarlet Cloud City. This domain technique of his was not that easy to break. He could only resist against it with his body. If his strength was at its peak, he would naturally not care about this suppression. But now that he was enduring an immense suppression, this layer of domain had reduced the strength of that tall and big male. My mirage and illusory realm also has a weakness. Dongbu Shuiying thought, facing such a high-graded chaotic origin life form, the level of his soul is simply too high. My mirage and illusory realm can't affect him at all. Even if he was suppressed by the punishment, the essence of his soul would not change. The mirage and illusory realm was like a breeze to a chaotic origin prisoner. It did not affect his strength at all. On the contrary, Brother Hidden Horizon's domain is still useful. Dongbu Shuiying muttered to himself. But he had forgotten. His mirage and illusory realm domain had contributed greatly in dealing against the chaotic origin prisoner. Because every chaotic origin prisoner gave the cultivators the biggest headache because they would have a large number of protectors. Like now, there were 1,200 God Emperor Grand Perfection Hidden Devil Hunters. If they could unleash their full strength, they would pose a much harder threat than the chaotic origin prisoner. Under Dongbu Shuiying's soul technique, the Hidden Devil Hunters were greatly weakened. Only God Emperor had the strength of a late-stage God Emperor. One had to know that when Dongbu Shuiying and the other cultivators worked together, they could fight equally against 200 God Emperor Grand Perfection Hidden Devil Hunters. Even though there were 1,200 of them now, their strength had been greatly reduced. Dongbu Shuiying and the others held the absolute advantage. The Hidden Devil Hunters could only fight against the chaotic origin prisoners by relying on their powerful life force. Die. The tall and big male was suppressed by the black-white domain. He softly said. Following that, his speed abruptly increased. Hua! He turned into a blurred black light. His speed was frightening as he charged towards Dongbu Shuiying. Protect Monarch Feishue. A metallic giant immediately rushed out. He wanted to block that black light. The black light flashed. It was incredibly agile. It bypassed that metallic giant and continued charging towards Dongbu Shuiying. Hong! Dongbu Shuiying's body grew to a height of 10 meters. His entire body was circulating with a faint gray light. His aura became violent and chaotic. With a spin of the spear in his hand, layers of space filled the surroundings. However, the black light did not avoid Dongbu Shuiying. After all, its target was Dongbu Shuiying. The black light forcefully penetrated through the layers of space before clashing with the spear. The black light was sent flying backwards. After that, it distorted and transformed back into that tall and big male. Wang. Dongbu Shuiying's body remained standing at his original position. He could feel traces of incomparably sharp energy entering his body through the spear, wreaking havoc within his body. Fortunately, with the protection of his weapon, his body was able to withstand the remaining energy. AI. The tall and big male sighed, "I can't even kill a little fellow. What a joke, what a joke." Dongbu Shuiying's expression changed. He had erupted with the strength of a peak expert of Scarlet Cloud City. Furthermore, he had the help of a peak expert like Taoist Hidden Horizon to suppress him with his domain. Yet he did not have any advantage at all. Amen? The tall and big male looked at Dongbu Shuiying. Suddenly, the edge of his lips curled into a grin. "It seems you haven't reached the half-chaotic origin lifeform body level? It seems your body isn't stable. I can feel your life force weakening continuously. Protect Monarch Feishua properly." Taoist Hidden Horizon passed down an order: act according to the first plan to deal with the chaotic origin prisoner. Work together and fight against the chaotic origin prisoner. Yes. All right. Go. Some of the cultivators originally under Taoist Hidden Horizon were dissatisfied with Taoist Hidden Horizon abandoning them previously. But now that they were protecting Dongbu Shuiying, they still obeyed his orders. At that moment, a total of 8 cultivators charged towards that tall and big male. Even though they were all ordinary Grand Perfection God Emperor realm experts, they could still delay the other party for a while by executing their combined technique. "Monarch Feishua, as long as you promise me, the grudge between us will end here. You must not take revenge on me, and I'll do my best to deal against that chaotic origin prisoner." Xie Fan transmitted to Dongbu Shuiying. Dongbu Shuiying looked at Xie Fan. "I'm afraid." Xie Fan transmitted back with a strange chuckle. "Previously, I've schemed against you. If you schemed against me too, I'm afraid I might not be able to return to Scarlet Cloud City alive. You are too vigilant. Even if I schemed against you, I might not succeed." Dongbu Shuiying transmitted back. Even if he schemed against Xie Fan, he would at most not lend a helping hand. This was also an unwritten rule within the team. For instance, Xie Fan had done this previously, watching coldly by the side, allowing Dongbu Shuiying to fall into a desperate situation. But even if he did so, the chances of Xie Fan dying was very low, because Xie Fan was very strong. Xie Fan's fleshy body was terrifyingly strong. He was quite amazing even amongst the apex experts in Scarlet Cloud City. Even if 20 God Emperor Grand Perfection Chaotic Origin lifeforms attacked Xie Fan alone, he could still escape. Xie Fan would definitely mix within the team and maintain a close distance with the others. It would be hard to create a desperate situation for him. Just like when Dongbu Shuiying revealed that he could maintain his strength as an apex expert for a short period, Xie Fan immediately gave up on scheming against him. I have no choice but to be vigilant. If Monarch Feishua uses the reason of not being able to resist against the chaotic origin prisoner and asks us to escape by ourselves, wouldn't I die? Then he took the rest of the team and fled, leaving me behind on purpose. Am I not doomed? Xie Fan transmitted his voice. Dongbu Shuiying was speechless. Bring the others and escape? Leaving you alone to die? Dongbu Shuiying transmitted back, you are underestimating me too much. It could still be explained if the team split into several teams and escaped. Take everyone else and escape, leaving only Xie Fan behind? That was simply forcing him to die. That was too despicable. Xie Fan himself was despicable, but he was also wary of Dongbu Shuiying. I know Monarch Feishua would never do such a thing. Haha, as long as Monarch Feishua agrees to it, the grudge between the two of us will end. I'll immediately help you. It seems this chaotic origin prisoner has set his eyes on you, Monarch Feishua. Even if you want to escape, he will most likely continue chasing after you. Furthermore, you can't maintain your current body for too long. If I were to help you, things would be different. Only I can fight against him directly. Xie Fan transmitted back. Hand over another 3 God Emperor Grand Perfection Chaotic Origin lifeforms, and the grudge between the two of us will end. Dongbu Shuiying transmitted back. Even though Xie Fan felt his heart aching, he still revealed a smile. All right. Monarch Feishua, if you had revealed your strength earlier, would there still be a grudge between the two of us? From today onwards, you and I are brothers. Dongbu Shuiying's face twitched. Brothers? Xia Fan waved his hand and threw a storage treasure to Dongbu Shuiying. There are 3 God Emperor Grand Perfection Chaotic Origin Lifeform corpses inside. I'll give them to you first. At the moment he threw it out, Xia Fan suddenly recalled, in the past he had once threatened Dongbu Shuiying, wanting to exchange 3 Void Lineage God Emperor Grand Perfection Chaotic Origin Lifeform corpses for that Flame Lineage Chaotic Origin Lifeform corpse. Who would have thought that it would end up like this? No matter what, this time I've lowered my head and handed over the treasures. At least I have one less enemy. Xia Fan thought. He dared to bully the weak. Towards those who could threaten his life, his attitude was extremely good. He was adaptable. He had never cared about his reputation. In reality, the conversation between the two happened very quickly. It was merely an instant. Chaotic Origin prisoner, die for me. Xia Fan shouted out. With a so, he turned into a stream of light and charged towards that tall and big male. Dongbu Shuiying held onto the storage treasure that Xia Fan threw over. He sighed inwardly. This Xia Fan had thrown over 3 God Emperor Grand Perfection Chaotic Origin Lifeform corpses the moment he came to an agreement. Clearly the matter had been settled. Dongbu Shuiying looked at the battle happening in the distance. Whatever. It isn't easy to scheme against Xia Fan during this journey back. This time I can't kill him. Otherwise, given how cautious he is, he would definitely not give me another chance after returning to the city. Making him lose 3 God Emperor Grand Perfection Chaotic Origin Lifeform corpses is enough to make him feel heartache. Asterisk asterisk. Chapter 1360. Taoist Hidden Horizons Black-White Domain suppressed that chaotic origin prisoner, tall and big male, from afar. Of those present, only Taoist Hidden Horizons domain could be used. The other cultivators had techniques that could be ignored against the chaotic origin prisoner. The 8 cultivators unleashed their combined techniques to entangle the other party. But the tall and big male could not adapt to it at the start. Just a few moves later, he had escaped from the entanglement of the 8 cultivators. These 8 cultivators could protect themselves. But it was not enough to entangle this chaotic origin prisoner. Chaotic origin prisoner, die for me. Xia Fan was incredibly berserk. At the same time, 5 other cultivators and Xia Fan charged towards that tall and big male. Xia Fan's aura completely erupted. The surrounding time-space around him distorted. Under the terrifying domain, even that tall and big male could not help but feel the gravitational pull. Kill. The 5 cultivators that acted together with Xia Fan were originally subordinates of Xia Fan. At this moment, the 5 of them had fused together with Xia Fan's domain. They were like 5 stars revolving around Xia Fan. Wave after wave of attacks landed on the body of that tall and big male. Die for me. Xia Fan was incomparably fierce. His valiant hands grabbed out. Even Dongbu Shuiying felt that he could not dodge it. Xia Fan was ultimately a Dao cultivator that had a half-chaotic origin lifeform body. His techniques were naturally profound. AI. The tall and big male lightly sighed. The black-white domain and this gravity domain were both affecting him. He could not escape from this short and small old man for a moment. Ping ping ping. The tall and big male and short old man, Xia Fan, began fighting. In terms of close combat, even though Xia Fan's techniques were much more profound than Dongbu Shuiying's, the tall and big male was more brilliant. Occasionally, 2 to 3 out of 10 techniques would land on the body of Xia Fan. But Xia Fan would simply chuckle strangely as he easily withstood the attacks. This is a chaotic origin prisoner? High-graded chaotic origin lifeform? Just these few techniques? How disappointing. The crimson eyes of that tall and big male were filled with a strand of fury. But he had no choice. The shackles suppressed him, causing his strength to be incredibly low. The black-white domain, gravity domain and the combined techniques of the surrounding cultivators made him feel even more uncomfortable. Even though he could barely injure Xia Fan with his current strength, the recovery speed of Xia Fan's life force allowed him to ignore these light injuries. Looks like they can handle it. Dongbu Shuiying had also returned to his original size. He had no choice. Previously, he had relied on the chaotic origin crystal jades to recover his vitality from 20% to 30%. In just a few breaths of time, his vitality had fallen back to 20%. Other than those who were attacking the chaotic origin prisoner. More than 30 other cultivators were also dealing with the surrounding hidden devil hunters. This was still very easy for the cultivators and they even had the upper hand. The tall man's shackles and chains suddenly glowed with a golden light, causing the tall man to involuntarily let out a cry of pain. Even the battle had stopped for a moment. At this moment, Xie Fan's palm fiercely pierced the tall man's chest, piercing through his robe and into the flesh of the tall man's chest. However, even though his robe was torn, countless mysterious golden patterns could be seen moving on the tall man's skin. These golden runes seemed to have been branded, causing the tall man's skin and muscles to wither. There were even many wounds on his body. Golden runes could be seen circulating on his bones, and there were also many cracks on his bones. The branded skin, the countless crisscrossing wounds, the withering muscles inside, the countless cracks in the bones. The body of this tall and big man seemed as if it could collapse at any moment. It was precisely this terrifying torture that made a powerful high-graded chaotic origin lifeform fight for so long with some brats who had yet to jump out of the cage. Even if these brats who had yet to jump out of the cage had mostly reached the half-chaotic origin lifeform body level, it was still a joke to a high-graded chaotic origin lifeform. He is here again. The tall and big man angrily roared. The torture and suppression was constantly being maintained. And it would occasionally erupt. Every time it erupted, it would cause him unbearable pain. Pu. The cultivators responsible for coordinating their attacks also tore apart his robe and bombarded the body of the tall and big man, causing his originally weak body to suffer even more injuries. Even though he was weak, when Xie Fan and the other cultivators attacked with all their might, they could only injure the tall and big man slightly. Retreat. The tall and big man abruptly roared. Hong. He no longer continued fighting. Instead, he turned into a black light and flew towards the distance. The black light even arced through the air in a ghostly arc, trying his best to avoid Xie Fan and the others. Chase. Don't let him escape. Xie Fan roared. Even though he was pursuing with all his might, the chaotic origin prisoner, tall and big male, used all his techniques and risked getting injured to force his way out of the encirclement. The moment he left the encirclement, given the frightening speed of the chaotic origin prisoner, he naturally fled far away. The chaotic origin prisoner, tall and big male, was too lazy to care about the group of hidden devil hunters under him. Even if he lost some of them, it did not matter to the chaotic origin prisoner. Stop them. Trap them. Don't let them escape. These are God Emperor Grand Perfection hidden devil hunters. Stopping one counts. The moment the hidden devil hunters received the orders from the chaotic origin prisoner, tall and big male, they immediately began fleeing. Because there were 1,200 of them. That was too many. Dongbo Shuiying and the others could not stop them even if they wanted to. They could only watch as these hidden devil hunters escaped. They could barely stop 19 hidden devil hunters. No choice. It was easy to defeat them. It was hard to trap them completely. Haha, there are 19 of them. The cultivators were in great joy. Fellow cultivators, let's hurry up and attack. Dongbo Shuiying urged them. He continued unleashing his mirage and illusory realm. He stood by the side and no longer participated in the battle. Because unleashing his mirage and illusory realm was already the greatest contribution he could make. The other cultivators immediately rushed to surround and attack them. Under the situation where they couldn't escape, Taoist Hidden Horizon, Xie Fan, and the other cultivators also attacked them. One after another, the hidden devil hunters died one after another. These 19 God Emperor Grand Perfection hidden devil hunters became the spoils of war for Dongbo Shuiying and the others. Haha, 19 God Emperor Grand Perfection chaotic origin lifeforms. We could obtain so many in a single battle. I didn't even dare to think about it previously. Only the team established by City Master and the others could achieve this. What level is the team established by City Master and the others? They have quite a few apex experts. Their overall strength is much stronger. The reason why our team could achieve this is because of Monarch Feishua. Right, there is Monarch Feishua. God Emperor Grand Perfection chaotic origin lifeforms can only unleash the strength of a late-stage God Emperor. The cultivators were both excited and excited. Because these gifts would be distributed by everyone in the future. Even though the Scarlet Cloud Hall Treasure Spirit would distribute the gifts according to the contribution of the members, Monarch Feishua would definitely get a huge share. But because the rewards were too huge, even if they got a small share, it would still be more than 10 times what they usually got when they joined other hunting teams. Fellow cultivators, let's hurry up and leave. We shouldn't stay here any longer. Dongbo Shuiying chuckled. Go, let's set off. Hurry up and set off. The team was in a good mood as they began their journey back. The journey back to Scarlet Cloud City was much easier. After all, they could even win against the 1,200 God Emperor Grand Perfection chaotic origin lifeforms led by the chaotic origin prisoner. As long as they were careful on the journey back, it would be much easier. They were even looking forward to encountering some small ambushes because every wave of ambushes would easily kill 8 to 10 God Emperor Grand Perfection Chaotic Origin lifeforms. There are too many of them. In the entire Scarlet Cloud City, this Monarch Feishue should be the #1 expert in killing God Emperor Chaotic Origin lifeforms. Xie Fan could not help but be startled. In terms of fighting one-on-one with the Chaotic Origin prisoner, there were at least 10 experts stronger than Monarch Feishue. But in terms of group attacks, especially against God Emperor Grand Perfection Chaotic Origin lifeforms, Dongbui Shui Ying's Mirage and Illusory Realm was clearly heaven-defying. Haha, we are back. We are finally back at Scarlet Cloud City. I am slightly reluctant to return. I wish to kill more Chaotic Origin lifeforms along the way so that I can accumulate more food. These cultivators looked at the distant Scarlet Cloud City. They were both happy and reluctant at the same time. Because their harvest this time was too huge. They were even looking at Dongbui Shui Ying with blazing eyes. How much they desired to join the team established by Dongbui Shui Ying. Chapter 1361. They are here. The two experts who were responsible for guarding the city walls saw a team of cultivators appearing from nothingness. They could not help but feel their spirits jolt. It is the team led by Taoist Hidden Horizon and Monarch Feishue. The hearts of these two experts slightly sped up. Currently, the entire Scarlet Cloud City was in an uproar. From the 3 city masters to the weakest cultivators who had the strength of a late-stage God Emperor, they were all talking about a name, Monarch Feishue. Monarch Feishue's technique was the Scarlet Cloud City. No, more accurately speaking, there had never been anyone in the history of this sacred world who could single-handedly reduce the strength of 1,200 Grand Perfection God Emperor Chaotic Origin lifeforms to the strength of a late-stage God Emperor. This technique was simply unfathomable. In front of this Monarch Feishue, the most terrifying numerical advantage of the Chaotic Origin lifeforms had been erased. Monarch Feishue, let us directly head to the Scarlet Cloud Hall. Right now, there are too many cultivators in the city who wish to meet Monarch Feishue. It is better for us to head to the Scarlet Cloud Hall and divide the corpses of those Chaotic Origin lifeforms. The team roared as they charged towards the walls of Scarlet Cloud City. The group of cultivators clustered around Dongbui Shui Ying. Dongbui Shui Ying had become the undisputed leader of the team. Even Taoist Hidden Horizon and Xie Fan were sighing in their hearts. It was simply too easy to obtain food when they were together with Dongbui Shui Ying. Wait a moment. Dongbui Shui Ying swept his gaze across. He saw the two experts responsible for guarding the city walls and immediately said. Following that, he immediately charged over and landed on top of that city wall. He landed, and the cultivators immediately followed him onto the city wall. Monarch Feishue. The two experts responsible for guarding the city greeted. They were much more polite and humble. Brother Jun Qian, Brother Fu Shan, why are you treating me as an outsider? Just call me Brother Feishue. Dongbui Shui Ying smiled. When I first arrived at Scarlet Cloud City, I was surrounded by a large group of shadow death gods. It was because of the two of you that God Eagle Snake and the others went to save me. These two experts were Jun Qian and Fu Shan. When Jun Qian and Fu Shan saw how courteous Shui Ying was, they immediately revealed a grin. They felt much more proud because they were clear that Shui Ying's current status was not any lower than that of the 3 city masters. With Brother Feishue's strength, even without reinforcements, he should be able to easily fend off those shadow reapers, Fu Shan said with a smile. Jun Qian grinned. The few of us have heard that Brother Feishue has easily reduced the strength of 1,200 God Emperor Grand Perfection Chaotic Origin lifeforms. This technique has left us dumbstruck. Dongbui Shui Ying smiled. Everyone in the team had a communication treasure, and the method he used was too terrifying. The cultivators in the team would naturally transmit the news back to the entire Scarlet Cloud City. I'll be leaving first. I still have to visit the Scarlet Cloud Hall. Dongbui Shui Ying said, when the two of you are done guarding, you must come over to my cavern dwelling. Definitely, definitely. Jun Qian and Fu Shan acknowledged. They were willing to take on the role of guarding in exchange for food precisely because it was extremely risky for them to go out and hunt. If they could get closer to Dongbui Shui Ying, it would be easy for Dongbui Shui Ying to recruit the two of them into his team. Everyone knew how frightening the harvest of a team formed by Monarch Feishue would be when they went out to hunt. Even if they only got a tiny portion of it, it would still be a frightening amount. Go. Dongbo Shuiying immediately arced through the sky. Following that, the other cultivators followed suit. They flew directly towards the Scarlet Cloud Hall. Many of them revealed looks of anticipation. Every time they hunted, the Scarlet Cloud Hall food distribution would be what they looked forward to the most. And this time, it was even more so because they hunted a total of 82 God Emperor Grand Perfection Chaotic Origin lifeforms. As Dongbo Shuiying and his team returned, many cultivators in the entire Scarlet Cloud City received the news. Within the cavern dwelling of Vice City Master Wuxia, within the underground palace. A humanoid life form that was 3,000 meters long was currently lying within the palace hall. He was snoring loudly. His entire body was silvery white and was emitting a faint white light. Every single pore on his body was a deep void tunnel with many machines flying out and revolving around him. There were also many machines flying into his body through his pores. A single strand of his hair could be magnified by 1,000,000,000,000 times. In reality, a single strand of hair contained an enormous cosmos. Within that cosmos, there were many battleships and mechas battling across the cosmos. Amen? Suddenly he stopped breathing. The machines that were originally revolving around his body immediately flew into his body through his pores. He directly sat up and touched his head. He is back. Wuxia softly muttered. In the entire Scarlet Cloud City and even the entire sacred world, Wuxia had the greatest origin. His old ancestor was one of the most terrifying overlords amongst the chaotic origin experts that had jumped out of the cage. And he, Wuxia, was the strongest descendant of that old ancestor. He was also the closest to jumping out of the cage and becoming a chaotic origin expert. It was similarly difficult for the bloodline descendants of overlords to become a chaotic origin expert. With a terrifying bloodline and his own hard work, Wuxia was naturally powerful. If one said that Xie Fan was the one with the heaviest body in Scarlet Cloud City, that Wuxia had the strongest body in Scarlet Cloud City and was also the strongest in terms of strength. He was even the one who specialized in scouting. Just by relying on his bloodline, he could fight against the other two city masters, Nine-Headed Snake Ancestor, and Weather Leaf. Small, Wuxia softly said. At that moment his body began shrinking rapidly. It felt as if every part of his body was being compressed. Terrifying ripples were formed on the surface of his skin. Wuxiao's body was just like a terrifyingly huge celestial body. To him, shrinking his body would cause many changes within his body. The others in this Scarlet Cloud City can easily maintain an ordinary height, yet I have to suppress myself. Wuxia felt helpless. His bloodline was very unique. After cultivating, his body would become incredibly huge. His old ancestor's body was so huge that it was just slightly smaller than an origin world. Even though he was far from his old ancestor, he was still much bigger without being suppressed in the outside world. In this sacred world he was suppressed. Hence, he had to maintain his height of 3,000 meters. That was considered an ordinary height. If he continued suppressing himself, it would cause many changes within his body. But he had no other choice. The cavern dwellings in Scarlet Cloud City were all standardized. Many halls were only 1,000 meters tall. If he did not shrink himself, he could not even enter the hall of the cavern dwelling. Furthermore, when he conversed with other cultivators, he could not possibly maintain his height of 3,000 meters and converse with other cultivators of ordinary height, right? I have never heard of that monarch Feishue who has such a terrifying technique. I have to go and meet him. Wuxia left the underground hall. A fragrance pervaded the air. A handsome bald young man sat cross-legged on the grass. This bald young man had a warm smile on his face. His eyes were filled with benevolence. He was none other than Nine-Headed Snake Ancestor. He was one of the 3 strongest experts in Scarlet Cloud City. Wuxia had a huge origin. And Nine-Headed Snake Ancestor had unquestionably grown up step by step from the weakest mortal world. He had experienced many tribulations and setbacks, reaching an unfathomable stage on the Tao of witchcraft. One had to know that other cultivation paths were usually weaker than Tao cultivators. Tao cultivators grasped the essence of the laws. Even the half-chaotic origin life-form body was created by themselves. Most cultivators could fight against those of a higher realm. There was no need to talk about Wuxia being an exception. But Nine-Headed Snake Ancestor could actually defeat ordinary, half-chaotic origin life-form body Tao cultivators on the Tao of witchcraft. Not only could Tao cultivators not fight against those of a higher realm, they could not even defeat Nine-Headed Snake Ancestor. Nine-Headed Snake Ancestor's strength was comparable to Weatherleaf. Weatherleaf was a terrifying Dao cultivator who cultivated 2 Daos to the half-chaotic origin level. But nine-headed snake ancestor could fight against Weatherleaf. One could see how outstanding Jiaoshi snake ancestor was as he climbed step by step from a mortal to where he was today. His outstanding talent had even attracted the attention of several chaotic origin experts. In the previous chaotic origin chaotic corridor, at least I was unparalleled in that corridor. But after coming to this legendary survival world, Wuxia could still be said to have the help of a chaotic origin expert. But Weatherleaf is the same as me. He has climbed up step by step from a mortal, and his strength isn't any weaker than mine. That gentle eyes of nine-headed snake ancestor were filled with expectations. And now, this monarch Feishue has at least surpassed me in terms of dealing against a large number of chaotic origin life forms. What is that technique of his? Is it some kind of domain? Or is it a soul technique? At this moment, nine-headed snake ancestor was truly curious about Dongbo Shuiying. He stood up and left the underground palace. I've heard that he is a Dao cultivator too? Weatherleaf, who was the only cultivator in the entire sacred world who had reached the half-chaotic origin level in 2 Daos, directly transmitted a message to Dongbo Shuiying through his communication treasure. Chapter 1362. Within the Scarlet Cloud Hall, Dongbo Shuiying and a total of 47 cultivators were gathered here. And many scenes were currently displayed in midair within the hall. Those were the scenes of all battles they had experienced during the hunt this time. Clearly, the Scarlet Cloud Hall spirit could easily observe the battle scenes that happened in the sacred world. According to the contribution of every cultivator, the Scarlet Cloud Hall spirit would distribute the spoils of war. Monarch Feishue can get 50% of the spoils of war. Taoist Hidden Horizon can get 5% of the spoils of war. Devil God Xiafan can get 4% of the spoils of war. The voice of the spirit reverberated within the Scarlet Cloud Hall. Everyone was convinced that Dongbo Shuiying could get half of the spoils of war. In reality, this was still too little. It was normal for Dongbo Shuiying to get 80% or even 90% of the spoils of war. The reason why the Scarlet Cloud Hall spirit only gave 50% to Dongbo Shuiying was because according to the rules of the Scarlet Cloud Hall, even if the cultivator contributed more, he would at most get half. This was how the Scarlet Cloud Hall spirit distributed the spoils of war. What if they felt it was unfair? The cultivators could decide on how to distribute the spoils of war. As long as everyone agreed to it, it would be fine. For instance, the next time Dongbo Shuiying formed a team, he would publicly announce that he would take 80% of the spoils of war. The remaining 20% would be distributed among the other cultivators. Since everyone agreed to it, it would naturally be carried out. In reality, if Dongbo Shuiying formed a team, much less 80%, he would even take 90% of the spoils of war. There would most likely be a group of cultivators who would join him. Brother Feishue, I am truly admirable. During this hunt, Brother Feishue did not reveal his strength at all. It was only during the return journey that Brother Feishue revealed his techniques. Even so, Brother Feishue could easily obtain 53 God Emperor Grand Perfection Chaotic Origin Lifeforms. Taoist Hidden Horizon stood by the side and said with admiration, the main spoils of war this time were the 82 Grand Perfection God Emperor Chaotic Origin Lifeforms. But these Chaotic Origin Lifeforms were divided into different levels too. For instance, a Mount Primal Chaos Serpent was equivalent to 3 Grand Perfection God Emperor Hidden Devil Hunters. Another example was the White Stone God. One of them was equivalent to 2 Hidden Devil Hunters of the same level. Because the value was different. 82 Grand Perfection God Emperor Chaotic Origin Lifeforms in addition to some late stage and middle stage God Emperor Chaotic Origin Lifeforms he killed and the food left behind by the 4 fallen cultivators, adding up to 106 ordinary Grand Perfection God Emperor Chaotic Origin Lifeforms. Dongbo Shuiying took half of it. This is what we agreed on. I owe you. Taoist Hidden Horizon threw over a storage treasure. Dongbo Shuiying received it. Checking through it, he saw a Grand Perfection God Emperor Hidden Devil Hunter within. This time, for the sake of obtaining the Mount Primal Chaos Serpent, I originally thought I would have to take out some of my accumulated food to compensate the cultivators. Taoist Hidden Horizon sighed, who would have thought that not only did I not have to compensate them, I even obtained some extra. He received 5% of the spoils of war. That was slightly more than 5 God Emperor Grand Perfection Chaotic Origin Lifeforms. Excluding the Mount Primal Chaos Serpent, he could still get more. So many. Dongbu Shuiying checked through his harvest. He obtained 53 chaotic origin lifeforms. Taoist Hidden Horizon gave him 1 and Xiafan gave him 3 as compensation. That meant a total of 57 God Emperor Grand Perfection chaotic origin lifeforms. Such a harvest. Other than Dongbu Shuiying, no other cultivator could easily obtain so many. Even though the 3 city masters are strong, there is a limit to how strong they are compared to apex experts. Dongbu Shuiying thought, their ability to obtain spoils of war is only a few times stronger than Taoist Hidden Horizon and the others. They were a few times stronger. But their ability to obtain food was much higher. That was because Weather Leaf, Nine-Headed Snake Ancestor, and Wuxia all had heaven-defying techniques in certain aspects. Ignoring direct combat strength, I should be number 1 in Scarlet Cloud City in terms of obtaining food. I might even be number 1 in the sacred world. Dongbu Shuiying thought. Amen? Dongbu Shuiying suddenly received a transmission. It's them? During the recent half a day, too many people had sent him messages. The cultivators in the team and the cultivators in Scarlet Cloud City? But at this moment, the 3 who sent him messages made Dongbu Shuiying treat them seriously. The 3 city masters invited me at the same time? Dongbu Shuiying slightly nodded. It was at City Master Weatherleaf's cave dwelling. Weatherleaf, Nine-Headed Snake Ancestor, and Wu Xiao had prepared a banquet, inviting all the cultivators in Scarlet Cloud City. Of course, the main guest was Dongbu Shuiying. Dongbu Shuiying was the main guest of this banquet. As expected of Emperor Feishua. The moment you returned, the 3 city masters prepared a banquet for you. We can even bask in your glory. The previous time there was such a huge commotion, it was because Weatherleaf and City Master Wu Xiao invited Nine-Headed Snake Ancestor. Everyone in Scarlet Cloud Hall said. The 3 city masters have invited you. Taoist Hidden Horizon said, let us hurry over. Men, let's go. Dongbu Shuiying nodded and headed out. Xiafan followed behind, let's go together. Very soon, Dongbu Shuiying and the others arrived at the cave dwelling of City Master Weatherleaf. There were already several cultivators waiting at the entrance. They were not in a hurry to enter and were chatting in groups of 2 or 3. Monarch Feishua. Greetings, Monarch Feishua. At that moment, many cultivators greeted passionately. They looked at Dongbu Shuiying with slightly heated gazes. After all, to the majority of cultivators, it was too difficult to survive in this sacred world. For instance, 1,000,000,000 years. A Grand Perfection chaotic origin life form of God Emperor was equivalent to 30 billion years worth of food. 1,000,000,000,000 years would require more than 30 Grand Perfection chaotic origin life forms of God Emperor. God Emperor Grand Perfection chaotic origin life forms were hard to kill. Most cultivators would hunt down middle-stage God Emperor and late-stage God Emperor chaotic origin life forms. They had to rely on hunting to make up for their losses. The more they did, the greater the risk. If they followed Dongbu Shuiying out, it would be safe and relaxing. They might even be able to obtain enough food to last them for several tens of billions of years. How long has it been? Yet he has become famous. Furthermore, this banquet is organized by the 3 city masters for him. Great Emperor North River stood watching from afar. Watching as Dongbu Shuiying entered his cavern dwelling under the escort of a group of cultivators, Great Emperor North River felt complicated, and for the sake of food, I have to risk my life time and time again. Great Emperor North River had gone out to hunt many times since he arrived in the sacred world. Most of the time he would only obtain food that was more than 1,000,000 years old. Only if he was lucky could he obtain food that was more than 10 million years old. Of course, the teams that Great Emperor North River joined usually hunted outside the city. If he joined those teams that hunted further away, it would be much more dangerous. But the rewards he obtained would be much greater too. It was normal for him to obtain food that could last him for several 100,000,000 years or even 1,000,000,000 years. But it was too dangerous to do it from a distance. For instance, this time, Taoist Hidden Horizon and his team were unlucky to meet the prisoner patrol. Fortunately, with Dongbu Shuiying around, only 4 of them died. If not for Dongbu Shuiying, Taoist Hidden Horizon and his team would most likely be wiped out. Great Emperor North River also entered the cavern dwelling of Weatherleaf in a low-profile manner. Under the escort of a group of cultivators, Dongbu Shuiying arrived at an elegant garden. There were many seats within the garden, and many female puppets were serving them. With a glance, Shuiying could see 3 cultivators standing in the distance. They were currently chatting. The aura of those 3 was the most dazzling and unique. The other cultivators present were scattered around them. The 3 city masters? Dongbu Shuiying swept his gaze across. He first noticed the city master, Weather Leaf. It was hard for him to reach the half-chaotic origin level in the Tao of laws and profound mysteries. This was much stronger than Old Monster Stone and Sacred Master from his hometown world. Yet Weatherleaf had reached the half-chaotic origin level in 2 Tao paths. He was unrivaled in this sacred world. I wonder how many origin worlds and how many unique worlds have given birth to a cultivator like Weatherleaf. Dongbo Shuiying felt admiration in his heart. Chapter 1363. Brother Feishua. The handsome bald young man nine-headed snake ancestor, shouted out. By the side, Weatherleaf and Wuxia also turned to Dongbo Shuiying. Dongbo Shuiying immediately walked over. At the same time he carefully observed these three. This was the first time he met these 3 city masters. Wuxia. At first glance, the one who attracted Dongbo Shuiying's attention the most was Wuxia. Wuxia gave Dongbo Shuiying a very unique feeling. It was as if he was looking at a world. Wuxia was more like a huge celestial body. He did not seem like an ordinary life form. He cultivates the bloodline energy. But according to rumors, he is the descendant of an extremely powerful chaotic origin expert. His bloodline is extraordinary. Dongbo Shuiying thought, looking at him is like looking at a celestial body. Others say that he has the strongest fleshy body in the entire Scarlet Cloud City. His strength is also the strongest. I wonder what level he has reached. But closely following that, Dongbo Shuiying felt the charm of Weatherleaf and nine-headed snake ancestor. Weatherleaf stood there as if he had transcended this world. His surroundings gave off a vague feeling of the birth of a world. And nine-headed snake ancestor was the complete opposite. He stood there as if he could contain everything. He had a gentle smile on his face, yet everything around him was under his control. Wu Zhao's strength originates from his body. His body is so strong because of his bloodline. Dongbo Shuiying thought, as for Weatherleaf and nine-headed snake ancestor, their realms are extremely high. Most ordinary Tao cultivators who have reached the half-chaotic origin life-form body cannot compare to them. Dongbo Shuiying walked over. He was observing these three. These 3 city masters were also observing Dongbo Shuiying. They could feel the unique aura of this monarch Feishua, causing them to have a good impression of him. Just his aura alone can influence me? Nine-headed snake ancestor and the other 2 were inwardly startled. Feishua pays his respects to the 3 city masters. Dongbo Shuiying said. When I first heard about Emperor Feishua today, I was shocked and in disbelief. Now that I see it, I no longer have any doubts. Nine-headed snake ancestor said with a smile, Monarch Feishua's attainments in the Tao of Soul have already far surpassed us. It's no wonder that the 1,200 Grand Perfection God Emperor Hidden Devil Hunters had their strength greatly reduced. Admirable. City Lord Weatherleaf, on the other hand, was a man of few words. However, it was already very rare for him to say the word, admiration. The path of the soul can be this powerful? Wu Xiao could not help but ask, Imperial Emperor Feishua, can you display it for me to experience? Old brother Wu Xiao, the other cultivators are about to arrive. It wouldn't be too late for you to experience it after the banquet ends. Nine-headed snake ancestor said. Wu Xiao suddenly understood and nodded with a smile. Yes, there's no hurry. The banquet soon began. Dongbo Shuiying and the 3 city masters sat close to each other. The 4 of them discussed the Tao. Even though they cultivated in different directions, they would still gain something from the growth of the other party. Ah, brother Feishua, you grew up step by step from being a mortal to where you are now? Wu Xiao was startled. You are the same as brother Nine-headed and brother Weatherleaf. You grew up from the weakest of mortals. I have the approximate primal chaos strength that brother Feishua mentioned when I was born. Some of the clansmen in my clan are comparable to me when they are born, and some are weaker than me. But many of them could not control their strength perfectly. Unless there is a huge advantage in growing up as a mortal? Speaking of which, my old ancestor also grew up step by step from being a mortal. Dongbo Shuiying sighed as he listened. The natives of the Broken Teeth Mountain Range were usually at the Void God Origin Birth Realm when they were born. The clansmen of Wu Xiao were even more terrifying. They were usually at the Primal Chaos Realm when they were born. To these babies who were born, they had already jumped out of the river of time and could not be envious of them. Because the gap between them was too great. Like the cosmos he was born in, the strongest expert in the cosmos had yet to reach the Primal Chaos Realm. Only Sword Master was the most heaven-defying expert in his hometown cosmos. He had only left the cosmos after reaching the primal chaos realm and headed for the Great Void Heaven Temple. But the clansmen of Wuxia were at this level the moment they were born. Compared to you, Brother Feishue, the environment I grew up in is much worse. Nine-headed snake ancestor chuckled. Witchcraft is the strongest cultivation system in my hometown. For the sake of extracting powerful bloodlines, witches could even massacre an entire nation. The battles between witches are extremely brutal too. For the sake of their own growth, they could even destroy an entire civilization. They could even deliberately guide a new civilization in the dark and use it as an experiment. Dongbo Shuiying gradually understood as he listened. The witchcraft of nine-headed snake ancestor was more similar to the witchcraft lineage created by his hometown Wuzhou. But comparatively speaking, the witchcraft of nine-headed snake ancestor was more brutal, more selfish, and more powerful. When the banquet was about to end, Brother Feishue, why don't we have a spar? Nine-headed snake ancestor stood up. Spar. Dongbo Shuiying was startled. Currently, all the cultivators of Scarlet Cloud City were gathered in this garden. Even the experts in charge of security had sent their incarnations over. A public spar? Rest assured. Even though there are rules in Scarlet Cloud City that forbids us from killing each other, sparring is still common. But sparring is common too. Nine-headed snake ancestor chuckled. As for Brother Flying Snow Soul technique, I do wish to experience it. I have yet to act, but nine-headed, you have already acted. By the side, Wu Xiao drank his wine in a single gulp. He felt helpless. Dongbo Shuiying looked at nine-headed snake ancestor. He revealed a smile and nodded, all right. Since nine-headed snake ancestor wants to spar, I will naturally accompany you. The two of them took a step forward and arrived at a lake at the center of the garden. The two of them stood on the lake facing each other. Are they going to fight? They want to spar. An uproar broke out among the experts in Scarlet Cloud City. Many of them even revealed looks of anticipation. Nine-headed snake ancestor was after all one of the three experts who stood at the peak. Dongbo Shuiying's techniques were also mysterious and unfathomable. You should make the first move. Nine-headed snake ancestor said, let me experience your soul technique. Be careful. Dongbo Shuiying said. He then directly executed his strongest Tao of Mirage and Illusory Realm killing technique. A huge illusory realm descended. It began dragging the soul of nine-headed snake ancestor. Dongbo Shuiying only felt that this was the strongest soul he had ever met. The difficulty of dragging him away was incredibly high. The so-called strongest soul here was referring to the strongest opponent beneath the chaotic origin level. If he was included, nine-headed snake ancestor's soul could not compare to his. It shouldn't affect him too much. Dongbo Shuiying estimated. Nine-headed snake ancestor frowned slightly. What a terrifying illusory realm. He thought that his soul would not be affected by anything since he grew up as a mortal. But at this moment he was still affected. Receive my move. Nine-headed snake ancestor said. Hua, behind the handsome bald young man nine-headed snake ancestor, a towering illusory figure suddenly appeared. This was the illusory figure of 9 huge snakes. Every huge snake was emitting a completely different energy. One could see the energy of 8 huge snakes arcing through the sky. These 8 energies included water, flame, lightning, life energy, destruction energy, 8 different energies. They formed a faint colorful light that enveloped the surrounding lake. It also enveloped Dongbo Shuiying. Dongbo Shuiying could only feel a heavy suppression enveloping him. He is indeed Monarch Feishue. Even I can't execute my 9-realm domain. Nine-headed snake ancestor shook his head and sighed. At the same time he spoke, the faint colorful light world rapidly closed up. It was like a rapidly shrinking cage and Dongbo Shuiying was right at the center of this cage. Not good. Dongbo Shuiying felt danger. He did not hesitate. His body abruptly expanded, reaching a height of 10 meters. The surface of his skin was covered in a faint gray light. With a spear in his hand, he spun it, causing layers of space to form around his body. These layers stacked together to resist against that rapidly shrinking 8-colored light cage. Chapter 1364. Peng. The rapidly shrinking 8-colored light cage suddenly exploded. At the same time, a portion of energy fused together. For instance, water energy and water energy fused together to form a water fire giant. There was also lightning and fire energy fusing together to form a lightning fire giant. There was also lightning and destruction energy fusing together to form a destructive lightning giant. Many giants appeared. A total of 9 giants appeared. These 9 giants all had the strength of an ordinary god emperor at grand perfection. They coordinated perfectly as they attacked Dongbo Shuiying. Amazing. Dongbo Shuiying maintained his peak fleshy body. He used his spear to defend against the giants, yet he was still at a slight disadvantage. After all, the combat techniques of these giants were profound. They were much more profound than his spear techniques. The influence of this soul illusory realm is indeed huge. I can't even allow them to form the 9-headed combat body. 9-headed snake ancestor softly shook his head. This huge illusory realm only affected 20% of his heart force. But it was this 20% that prevented him from executing his techniques perfectly. He was different from Wuxiao. Wuxiao relied on his powerful body to fight. As for 9-headed snake ancestor, it was extremely complicated to control his own energy. It consumed a huge amount of heart force. Controlling 9 different grand perfection bloodline energies of God Emperor at the same time while coordinating perfectly with each other, how great was the burden on his heart force? Transform. 9-headed snake ancestor thought. Ho, one could see one of the 9 giants dissipating. The other 8 giants immediately fused together, turning into a giant with 8 snake heads. This giant was filled with a violent and terrifying aura. It charged straight at Dongbo Shuiying. Dongbo Shuiying was slightly flustered by the successive techniques of 9-headed snake ancestor. He spun his spear to deal with this 8-headed giant. Fortunately, his heart force is affected, preventing him from executing the 9-colored domain and 9-headed combat body. Dongbo Shuiying thought. He had long gotten the intelligence on 9-headed snake ancestor. Nonetheless, even though 9-headed snake ancestor's strength had been greatly reduced, Dongbo Shuiying still had a hard time dealing with him. Who? The evil giant with 8 snake heads suddenly disappeared. In the distance, 9-headed snake ancestor chuckled. Brother Feishu, the consumption of your fleshy body is too huge. You have to cultivate more and reach the half-chaotic origin lifeform body soon. Yes, there's still a long way to go. Dongbo Shuiying sighed. He had only battled for a short while and his HP had already dropped to 60%. Even in terms of combat strength. Even though his fleshy body could barely reach the level of a half-chaotic origin lifeform body, his realm had yet to reach that level. Hence, the techniques he executed were still lacking. Compared to a true Dao cultivator with a half-chaotic origin lifeform body, he would only have 70% to 80% of the other party's strength. For example, Xie Fan had the qualifications to be ranked in the top 10 of Scarlet Cloud City. If he, Dongbo Shuiying, did not count his soul techniques, he could only be ranked at the bottom amongst the top experts. Of course, if soul techniques were included, the strongest battle strength he could unleash in a short period of time would also be ranked in the top few. After all, if he went all out, he would still be able to suppress him. He was most likely a city lord. My body is still too weak. I can't hold on for long. Dongbo Shuiying thought to himself. Amazing. Monarch Feishue is so powerful without even having a half-chaotic origin lifeform body? If he had a half-chaotic origin lifeform body, he would most likely be comparable to the 3 great city masters. The other cultivators were slightly startled. They could see that Dongbo Shuiying's Dao of Void Strength was stronger than him by a few dozen in Scarlet Cloud City. But his soul technique had greatly reduced the strength of 9-headed snake ancestor to a level comparable to Dongbo Shuiying. Dongbo Shuiying and 9-headed snake ancestor flew back to their original positions. This soul technique is indeed extraordinary. 9-headed snake ancestor sighed. Brother Feishu, I won't let you compete with me. Your body is too weak. Just use your soul technique on me. Just do it, Wuxiao urged. Let me have a taste too. Weatherleaf said. All right. Dongbo Shuiying did not hesitate. The enormous illusory world descended once again. It pulled the souls of Weatherleaf and Wuxiao. This time, Dongbo Shuiying could feel that the soul of Weatherleaf was similar to 9-headed snake ancestor. It was just slightly stronger. But it was limited. It was only because of Dongbo Shuiying's keen senses that he could sense the slight difference in soul strength between the two. As for Wuxiao, even though Wuxiao's body was terrifyingly strong, his soul was barely about 60% that of Weatherleaf and 9-headed snake ancestor. Under his mirage and illusory realm, Wuxiao had to divert a large amount of heart force to resist against it. But his fleshy body was too strong. Hence, controlling his fleshy body did not require too much heart force. It has quite a huge influence on me. I can't execute my strongest technique either. Weatherleaf nodded. I'm afraid I'm weaker than you, nine-headed. Wuxia sensed before saying, this soul technique is too unbearable. Dongbo Shuiying immediately retracted his technique. No wonder it could greatly reduce the strength of God Emperor Grand Perfection Chaotic Origin lifeforms. Even I can only unleash 60% to 70% of my strength. Wu Xiao said, what's more heaven-defying is that this soul technique of yours targets all enemies. It is the same for 1,200 hidden devil hunters, 3,000 or even 10,000 of them. As long as they enter the region of my illusory realm domain, it will be the same. Dongbo Shuiying nodded. The moment the illusory realm descended, the souls of all enemies within the region would be dragged away by the illusory realm unless they took the initiative to avoid the influence on some enemies. Amazing. It was rare for Weatherleaf to say this. He held onto his wine cup and lightly drank while pondering over it. By the side, nine-headed snake ancestor was silent too. His eyes were flashing with many colors. The banquet finally ended. The three city masters were mainly discussing Dao with Dongbo Shuiying and even sparring with each other. They did not care about the other cultivators. When the banquet ended, everyone began leaving. Brother Feishua. Weatherleaf and nine-headed snake ancestor both said at almost the same time. Dongbo Shuiying was stunned. He looked at the two of them. Weatherleaf and nine-headed snake ancestor exchanged glances before chuckling. You first. Nine-headed snake ancestor said, I'll speak after you are done here. All right. Weatherleaf nodded. Brother Feishua, please follow me. We can speak privately. Dongbo Shuiying looked at the two city masters. What exactly is the matter between the two of you? I'll wait for you here. In a while we'll talk in detail. Nine-headed snake ancestor sat there leisurely. Dongbo Shuiying nodded. He stood and left with Weatherleaf. They entered a side hall within this cavern dwelling. The two of them sat down. Weatherleaf pondered for a moment before saying, I have always wanted to kill that chaotic origin prisoner in Wind Devil Valley. It's just that chaotic origin prisoner is very vigilant. Ever since I ambushed him once, whenever he leaves his territory, he would always bring along a total of 3,000 protectors. All of them are at the Grand Perfection God Emperor realm. Even though I could invite some experts in Scarlet Cloud City to help me, those 3,000 protectors of his render me helpless against them. And now, with the appearance of Monarch Feishua, I see another chance of success. Brother Feishua, I would like to ask for your help. Follow my team to kill that chaotic origin prisoner in Wind Devil Valley. What conditions do you want? Just say it. Chapter 1365. Dongbo Shuiying sat by the side. He pondered for a moment before saying, it is very difficult and dangerous to kill a chaotic origin prisoner. A chaotic origin prisoner is constantly being suppressed by the punishment. During battle, he would control it slightly to prevent his weak body from being heavily injured. But the moment he encounters a life or death crisis, he would definitely retaliate madly and disregard everything to continue fighting. According to what I know in the history of Scarlet Cloud City, it is normal for those who attempted to kill a chaotic origin prisoner to fail and suffer heavy casualties. Previously, when he met the group of hidden devil hunters, he had also fought with that chaotic origin prisoner from the group. Dongbo Shuiying also saw that broken body of the other party. There were many injuries on his skin. His muscles were withered and his bones were filled with cracks. His body was clearly heavily injured under the punishment. Most chaotic origin prisoners would not be willing to let their injuries worsen during a battle. Yes, it is dangerous. But with Monarch Feishua joining us, our chances of success will be much higher. Weatherleaf said. City Master, what can you give me? Dongbo Shuiying said. Weatherleaf hesitated for a moment. What could he give? Food. In terms of food, if this Monarch Feishua claimed to be second, no cultivator in the entire sacred world would dare claim to be first. His soul-killing technique was unparalleled in the sacred world. God Emperor could easily kill a Grand Perfection chaotic origin lifeform. You have just obtained 6 void lineage chaotic origin lifeform corpses, right? Weatherleaf said, I can help you get the other 15 void lineage chaotic origin lifeform corpses. I guarantee all of them are at the Grand Perfection God Emperor level. You have to know that some of them are very far away from my Scarlet Cloud City, and some are even closer to other assembly grounds. I can use food to exchange for them too. Dongbo Shuiying shook his head. But some live near the other 4 cities. It is hard to exchange for them. Weatherleaf said. Then you have to pay more food. Dongbo Shuang said. Whether Leaf felt helpless. Encountering someone as wealthy as Monarch Feishue, even he as a city master could not do anything. I cultivate the Tao of Void and the Tao of Mirage and Illusory Realm. Dongbo Shuang said, City Lord, if you can find someone who would be of great help to me on these two paths, I might be willing to help. All right. Weather Leaf nodded slightly. Several precious treasures flashed through his mind. He had some connections with the other 4 cities. The cultivators in the entire sacred world came from many worlds, and some were even descendants of chaotic origin experts. He also knew of some cultivation treasures, but he needed to prepare them well. All right then, I'll take my leave first. Dongbo Shuang smiled as he stood up. Weather Leaf nodded slightly. There was nothing he could do. In terms of influence in Crimson Cloud City, this imperial monarch Feishue was probably not inferior to him, the city governor. In fact, many cultivators would probably be more willing to follow Emperor Feishue. You want this imperial Emperor Feishue to risk his life without paying enough? How could this be? My Mirage and Illusory Realm might be miraculous against ordinary chaotic origin lifeforms, but it is useless against a chaotic origin prisoner. Facing a chaotic origin prisoner, I would be in danger of dying. Naturally, I can't easily agree to it. Dongbo Shuang thought. A chaotic origin prisoner was a high-graded chaotic origin lifeform. Its soul was too strong, and his Mirage and Illusory Realm technique was completely useless against it. And when Shuang unleashed his strongest fleshy body, his strength would be at the bottom of the apex experts in Scarlet Cloud City. Furthermore, he could only maintain it for the time taken to brew a cup of tea. That was too dangerous. Even though this is just an avatar of mine, the moment it dies I would be fine in my hometown origin world and Realm Heart Great Land. But if this avatar dies, my opportunity would be gone. Dongbo Shuang cherished the days he spent cultivating in this sacred world. After leaving the side hall, Shuang arrived at the garden outside. Almost all the cultivators in the garden had left. The enormous garden was empty. Only Vice City Master Nine-Headed Snake Ancestor remained drinking by himself. Even Wuxia had left. Brother Feishue. Nine-Headed Snake Ancestor pointed to the side with a smile. Have a seat. I've made City Master Nine-Headed wait for a long time. Dongbo Shuang said. My lifespan is unlimited. It isn't worth mentioning to wait for a while longer. Nine-Headed Snake Ancestor looked at Dongbo Shuang. Weather Leaf should be thinking of killing that chaotic origin prisoner from Wind Devil Valley, right? Yes. Dongbo Shuang nodded, but I did not agree to it. Nine-Headed Snake Ancestor felt his heart move. Did not agree? It seemed it wasn't easy to ask this monarch Feishue for help. I've asked Brother Feishue. Brother Feishue should agree to it. Nine-Headed Snake Ancestor said. Oh, please elaborate. Dongbo Shuang said. I also wish to kill a chaotic origin prisoner. In the entire sacred world, there are a total of 21 void lineage chaotic origin lifeforms, and only 3 of them have chaotic origin prisoners. Even though these 3 chaotic origin prisoners are different high-graded chaotic origin lifeforms, they all belong to the void lineage. The one I wish to kill is one of the 3 chaotic origin prisoners, Quiet Icy Mountain Master. Nine-Headed Snake Ancestor said. Dongbo Shuang felt his heart move. Quiet Icy Mountain Master? There were only 3 chaotic origin prisoners in the void lineage. He naturally knew of this person. To Dongbo Shuang, a complete corpse of a high-graded chaotic origin lifeform from the void lineage was much more valuable than those grand perfection chaotic origin lifeform corpses like God Emperor. That was a qualitative change. But those of the void lineage were more adept in survival and killing them was hard. This Quiet Icy Mountain Master might be residing in Quiet Icy Mountain, but he was a true void lineage. After killing him, the heart and blood of this Quiet Icy Mountain Master will belong to me, and the other parts of the corpse will belong to you. Nine-Headed Snake Ancestor looked at Dongbo Shuang. What do you think? Oh. Dongbo Shuang felt his heart move. This Nine-Headed Snake Ancestor was a witch. He collected the bloodlines of chaotic origin lifeforms and fused them into his body for cultivation. What he cared about the most were the heart and blood. But in reality, Dongbo Shuang needed to comprehend the laws on the corpse, like the scales, muscles, bones, teeth, and other body parts. You only want the heart and blood? Dongbo Shuang asked again. Right. I can even leave 10% of the blood for you. Nine-Headed Snake Ancestor said. What about the other members of the team? Dongbo Shuang asked. Don't they need it after we split it? Since I asked them for help, I will naturally satisfy them. Nine-headed snake ancestor said. How could other cultivators have conditions as high as Monarch Feishue? But he had no choice. The most precious food, in the sacred world, was something that Monarch Feishue could easily obtain. And his soul technique was the greatest aid in killing the chaotic origin prisoner. It was simply too useful. You can be rest assured. What I promised you can be announced when the team is formed. Nine-headed snake ancestor persuaded. Your meaning is? Dongbo Shuang chuckled. You are asking me to risk my life using treasures that I have yet to obtain? Nine-headed snake ancestor waved his hand, throwing out a golden wristband. There are 9 void lineage God Emperor Grand Perfection life forms inside. They are different from the 6 life forms given to you by Heaven Calamity. This is all that I can temporarily collect. The remaining life forms are living around other assembly grounds. It is hard to collect them. Just treat these as gifts from me to Brother Feishue. Dongbo Shuang received it. Checking through, he discovered 9 void lineage chaotic origin life form corpses. All of them were at the Grand Perfection God Emperor Grand Perfection level. Dongbo Shuang could not help but feel delighted. 21 types, he had collected 15 of them. TSK. Nine-headed snake ancestor was truly generous. City Master Weatherleaf was not generous enough. Dongbo Shuang mumbled inwardly. I need 300 billion years. Dongbo Shuang said, I have just arrived in the sacred world not too long ago. I still need to properly cultivate. At most 300 billion years. By then I will set off with you, City Master Nine-headed, to deal with that Quiet Icy Mountain Master. If we succeed, the distribution of the corpse of Quiet Icy Mountain Master will be done according to what City Master Nine-headed said previously. 300 billion years. City Master Nine-headed, do you have the patience to wait? All right, it's a deal. Nine-headed snake ancestor immediately agreed. If it were in the outside world, just 300 billion years was not worth mentioning. To these terrifying existences that were close to the chaotic origin life form level, it was truly a short period. It's just that it was hard to obtain food in the sacred world. 300 billion years seemed quite long. But to Nine-headed snake ancestor, 300 billion years was easy. It's a deal. Dongbo Shuang chuckled. He agreed primarily because the corpse of Quiet Icy Mountain Master was very attractive to him. Even without Nine-headed snake ancestor, in the future he would most likely build a team to kill that void lineage chaotic origin prisoner. Chapter 1366. The two of them made a deal. Dongbo Shuang immediately left. Weatherleaf walked out from the side and stood beside Nine-headed snake ancestor. Did you succeed? Weatherleaf asked. Sending 9 void lineage chaotic origin lifeform corpses as a gift is a success. The corners of Nine-headed snake ancestor's lips curled up. He glanced at Weatherleaf. Did you not send any gifts? Weatherleaf remained calm. It is easy for him to obtain food. He can easily exchange for many void lineage chaotic origin lifeform corpses by himself. The reason why he agreed to your request is because he similarly wants to get the Quiet Icy Mountain Master. Otherwise, do you think he would risk his life for such a small gift? I know that you are jealous. Nine-headed snake ancestor said. The relationship between the two of them was very subtle. They had both climbed up step by step from being mortals. In terms of cultivation level, they were the two with the highest cultivation levels in Scarlet Cloud City. Have you decided? Weatherleaf asked. Are you going to rely on the ultimate bloodline awakening to become a chaotic origin? It's decided. Nine-headed snake ancestor nodded his head. Are you willing? Weatherleaf asked again. Given your accumulation of strength, you might even be able to comprehend and break through in the future, breaking through with your strength and becoming the strongest overlord amongst chaotic origin experts. Even if you can't break through with your strength, if you could gain the favor of an overlord, he might send you to an origin world and help you reincarnate into that origin world. Even though the will of that origin world would still suppress you, you still have hope of grasping an origin world and becoming a world realm chaotic origin lifeform. Overlord level chaotic origin lifeforms were the highest grade. A world realm chaotic origin lifeform was not bad. At least within the origin world he controlled, he would be unparalleled. As for high-graded chaotic origin lifeforms, they were comparatively weaker. At my level of cultivation, I was reincarnated into an origin world. The price was too high. It's much more difficult than sending some weak cultivators into the origin world. Nine-headed snake ancestor shook his head. How long have I been in the sacred world? No overlord has ever conveyed such an intention. He had long been disappointed. He was also clear about this. An origin world would suppress even the experts within its own world. For example, the Sacred Master and Old Monster Stone had survived the Great Calamity and entered a new era. They would be forced into a deep slumber. This was the suppression of the origin world's will on the super-powerful life forms, giving the new generation life forms enough time to grow. And at the level of the nine-headed snake ancestor, his strength was too strong, too terrifying. When reincarnating, the origin world's will would resist greatly to begin with. The cost of successfully reincarnating would be terrifying. Even if he succeeded, they would also be forced into a deep slumber. In any case, there were all sorts of restrictions placed on him. The stronger he was, the more terrifying the restrictions would be. How strong was an origin world? Suppressing a half-chaotic origin life-form body was naturally easy. Even if I awaken my bloodline and become a chaotic origin life form, even though I am a high-graded chaotic origin life form, I believe that with my accumulations, I can similarly cultivate to the world realm chaotic origin life form. In the future, I might even become an overlord-level chaotic origin life form. Nine-headed snake ancestor said confidently. Weatherleaf did not say anything. In reality, the bloodline awakening was equivalent to transforming into an innate chaotic origin life form clan. The path of growth was also the path of an innate chaotic origin life form. This path had much lower potential. For instance, innate chaotic origin life forms that reached the apex like the thousand-eyed existence and myriad tentacles dragon mother could injure Yuan and other overlords, yet they still fell. As for the lords, even though there were few of them, none had fallen. It was clear which of the two paths was better. It's just that the difficulty of becoming an overlord was too high. The path has to be walked. Nine-headed snake ancestor said, I'm not like you who has long received the attention of many chaotic origin experts. There are even overlords who have promised you that they are willing to help you reincarnate into an origin world. Weatherleaf shook his head. Using strength to break through is my path. How terrifying was it to reach the half-chaotic origin life form level in 2 Daos? There was only one such existence in the sacred world. Your path is harder to walk. Nine-headed snake ancestor turned around and left. He felt slightly sorrowful in his heart. Given his strength, he did not have any chaotic origin experts to nurture him. He could only rely on himself. Dongbo Shuiying returned to his cavern dwelling. He checked through the 15 Void Lineage God Emperor Grand Perfection chaotic origin life-form corpses that he had collected. He could not help but feel delighted. I'm still lacking 6 more. These 6 are hard to come by. But City Master Nine-Headed did not publicly collect them. He should have simply gathered them with some of his good friends. Dongbo Shuiying muttered inwardly. Because in history, Scarlet Cloud City would have some contact with the other 4 cities. They would even send teams to other cities just to exchange for treasures. Chaotic origin life forms that were rarely seen in his own city existed in the other cities. That was also why Weatherleaf dared to say that he could help collect them. I, Feishue, wish to collect 6 Void Lineage Grand Perfection Chaotic Origin Lifeform corpses of God Emperor Grand Perfection Chaotic Origin Lifeform. These are the 6 types and I am only buying 1 of each. A corpse can be exchanged for 3 times the amount of food. The 6 types were described clearly. Dongbo Shuiying directly transmitted this news to all cultivators in Scarlet Cloud City through his communication treasure. 3 times the amount of food. Usually it was not bad to exchange for these rare corpses with twice the amount of food. Dongbo Shuiying was rich and overbearing. Naturally he did not care about it. Brother Feishue. Monarch Feishue. Feishue. News came one after another. It was all for the sake of exchanging for food. After all, Scarlet Cloud City had more than 3,000 experts. And there were more than 100 who had one of these 6 types. Dongbo Shuiying immediately contacted the cultivators one by one according to the sequence. He confirmed the matter of exchanging for food. The purchase is complete. Dongbo Shuiying then transmitted to all cultivators. Exchanging for 3 times the amount of food was something that could only be chanced upon. The moment it appeared, various parties would naturally take the initiative to exchange for it. It's a pity that Dongbo Shuiying only needed 1 of each type. 3 times the amount of food. Some of the stronger chaotic origin lifeforms were equivalent to 2 ordinary chaotic origin lifeforms. Hence, Dongbo Shuiying paid a total of 25 God Emperor Grand Perfection chaotic origin lifeform corpses to exchange for the 6 types of food that he needed. Sacred World Void Lineage 21 Chaotic Origin Lifeforms, and God Emperor Grand Perfection Lifeform corpses have all been gathered. Dongbu Shuiying was in an extremely good mood. Within the underground palace, his eyes were blazing as he looked at the Void Lineage Chaotic Origin Lifeform corpses being brought out. He could not help but start studying them thoroughly. Great Emperor North River also received the public message from Dongbu Shuiying. First he made a public purchase. Closely following that he announced the end of the purchase. 3 times the amount of food. Great Emperor North River was currently within his cavern dwelling. He was currently reading through the information. To this Ying Shan Snow Eagle, obtaining food is so easy. That's good too. Even though it is hard for me to obtain food, the process of obtaining food is also a form of tempering for myself. Right. This was indeed tempering one between life and death. The cultivators understood this too. But they did not like being forced to hunt time and time again. Thousand-eyed water droplet. Great Emperor North River flipped his hand, causing a dew-like water droplet to appear on his palm. Great Emperor North River looked at it. This Ying Shan Snow Eagle has always wanted to get this thousand-eyed water droplet. Humph. This is something left behind by a terrifying chaotic origin lifeform that could transform into the Broken Tooth Mountain range. I must absolutely not let this Ying Shan Snow Eagle get it so easily. Great Emperor North River was clear that the thousand-eyed water droplet was useless to him. It was only in the Forbidden Ground Snake Tooth Corridor that he could utilize the thousand-eyed water droplet. Currently it was useless to his cultivation. But this was the most important treasure he had on him. Great Emperor North River understood that Dongbu Shuiying desired to get it. I can't take the initiative to beg him. I'll wait for him to beg me. By then I'll definitely make him pay a huge price. Great Emperor North River thought. This treasure was originally obtained by Dongbu Shuiying. Yet, Great Emperor North River broke his oath and snatched it away. And now, Great Emperor North River wanted to rely on the thousand-eyed water droplet to earn a huge profit. Nonetheless, time passed. 10,000 years, 1,000,000 years, 10 million years, more than 100 million years. Great Emperor North River was forced to go hunting. Yet Dongbu Shuiying never came to his place. Chapter 1367. Outside Scarlet Cloud City in the wilderness. The 30 cultivators were doing their best to fight against the bolts of lightning. These bolts of lightning were extremely fast and abnormally ghostly. There were also many of them, more than 200 bolts of lightning. Rip. The body of Great Emperor North River was struck by a lightning. A claw vaguely tore apart part of the flesh of Great Emperor North River, tearing off a leg. Open. Great Emperor North River had a savage expression. His sword light was like a river that clashed against the body of that lightning, forcing it back. Great Emperor North River's body rapidly regrown. Quick, get rid of them. Retreat. Hurry. These cultivators were slightly panicking. Quite a few of them were facing a dangerous situation. Amongst them was a tall and sturdy white-haired old man. This white-haired old man was strangely blind. Currently, there were many sword lights revolving around him, madly attacking the surrounding lightning. These lightning lights were actually four-legged snake-like chaotic origin lifeforms that were bathed in lightning. The white-haired blind old man was none other than the founder of this team, Heart-Eye Sword Ancestor. It was also because of him that the team did not have any casualties. Quite a few cultivators who were in dire straits would send out a sword light to repel the chaotic origin lifeforms. 13 sword lights revolved around Heart-Eye Sword Ancestor. They were ready to save their comrades at any time. At the same time, they were also taking the opportunity to kill some middle-stage God Emperor and late-stage God Emperor chaotic origin lifeforms. He retreated as he fought. As they gradually broke free, they retreated faster and faster until they completely broke free. Whoosh. The group of 30 cultivators did not care about being exposed at all. They turned into a blurry stream of light and rushed towards Scarlet Cloud City at a terrifying speed. Because they were relatively close to Scarlet Cloud City to begin with, they rushed back to the city in no time at all. Brother Hard-Eye. Brother Xinyan, you've returned very quickly this time around. The 2 experts on the city wall who were in charge of guarding said with a smile. The blind white-haired old man shook his head and said, "Our luck was bad. I didn't expect to run into a group of gray-clawed thunder snakes while hunting outside the city. There were more than 200 of them, and half of them were God Emperor Perfection." What? So many gray-clawed lightning snakes? Brother Xinyan is indeed amazing. Everyone came back alive. The 2 guards praised. It's all thanks to Brother Heart Eye. Brother Heartless, this time I might have lost my life. I actually encountered the most troublesome gray-clawed lightning snake. The cultivators in the group said one after another. In the team, Great Emperor North River remained silent. Even though quite a few members of the team met with danger this time, most of them were used to it. Great Emperor North River had only been in the Scarlet Cloud City for a short period. This was the most dangerous encounter he had ever had since he arrived at the Scarlet Cloud City. There were a few times where I almost died. Great Emperor North River recalled the previous dangerous situations. He could not help but feel his heart trembling. Hunting outside really depends on one's luck. If one's luck is slightly bad, there might be a group of sufficiently powerful chaotic origin life forms attacking them, and there might even be the risk of dying. Great Emperor North River thought, even though I have always chosen to hunt close to the Scarlet Cloud City since it is relatively safer to hunt outside the city, the Scarlet Cloud City is much safer. But that's only relatively speaking. 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times. The more you do it, the greater the danger you will encounter. Outside the city. One had to know that even the most terrifying chaotic origin prisoner, the chaotic origin sea master, had once come to Scarlet Cloud City. Who knows, there might even be a new branch of chaotic origin lifeform clan coming here. It's too dangerous. If this continues, would I still be able to survive the next time I encounter such a terrifying danger? Great Emperor North River felt slightly anxious. Even though he had the strength of God Emperor at the Grand Perfection Realm, his strength was the most commonly seen in Scarlet Cloud City. He occupied more than 80% of the area. Alternatively, I can choose to join those hunting teams that are far away. Even though the distance is far and more dangerous. A single harvest of food could last for several 100 million years or even longer. Great Emperor North River thought. Alternatively, I can rely on an apex expert and become a member of his team. Great Emperor North River pondered. Within Scarlet Cloud City, there were a total of a few dozen apex experts. Any team that was formed would attract a huge number of cultivators to join. Because most apex experts would do their best to protect their own team members when they were out adventuring. Only under the premise of protecting their own team members would they slightly help the loose cultivators. But with my current strength, who would be willing to accept me? Great Emperor North River shook his head inwardly. During these years, he had also witnessed the strength of apex experts. For instance, this time, Heart Eye Sword Ancestor was ranked in the top 10 within Scarlet Cloud City. Every single one of his 13 divine swords had a power comparable to a Grand Perfection God Emperor. When the 13 God swords worked together, their strength was frightening. This time he was controlling the 13 divine swords to protect everyone. Scarlet Cloud City, within the Scarlet Cloud Palace Hall. The team led by Great Emperor North River was also distributing the spoils of war. According to the agreement, Heart Eye Sword Ancestor would take 80% of it. The other cultivators would split the remaining 20% according to their contribution points. No choice. Even when Heart Eye Sword Ancestor took 80%, everyone was still willing to join because the techniques Heart Eye Sword Ancestor specialized in were more suitable for helping his comrades. To Heart Eye Sword Ancestor, there was practically no danger when hunting outside the city. This time his luck was not too good, yet he still managed to bring everyone back. That was the reason why he took 80%. 12 million years worth of food. Great Emperor North River received the food that was distributed to him. Once the spoils of war were distributed, everyone dispersed. Great Emperor North River walked alone on the street. 12 million years worth of food. If this continues, I'll have to go out and kill more than 1,000 times in 10 billion years? It has been too short since I came to Scarlet Cloud City. There are too many experts here that came from different worlds. Their cultivation systems are different too. Interacting with them has given me a huge harvest. With sufficient time, I might even improve further and reach the apex, reaching the same level as Cloud Phoenix City Master. I need time. I need time to properly cultivate. Unknowingly, Great Emperor North River arrived outside a cavern dwelling. He turned around and looked at the main entrance of this cavern dwelling. This was the cavern dwelling of Dongbu Shuiying. Yingshan Snow Eagle. I still have to ask him for help. Great Emperor North River gritted his teeth. I've always been waiting for him to take the initiative to ask me for help. That way, I can take the opportunity to sell the thousand-eyed water droplet for a high price. But he never came, so I can only take the initiative to ask him. He was clear. If Dongbu Shuiying took the initiative to ask him for help, he could take the opportunity to sell it for a high price. If he, North River, begged Dongbo Shuang to come and buy the thousand-eyed water droplet, Dongbo Shuang would definitely lower the price. I can't wait any longer. Great Emperor North River directly walked towards the main entrance of the cavern dwelling. There was a puppet protector at the entrance. The puppet protector shouted, "Halt! Tell your master that I, North River, am here to meet him." Great Emperor North River said. The puppet protector remained silent for a moment. Clearly he was transmitting to Dongbo Shuang. Very soon the puppet protector said, "Monarch North River, please enter. My master is currently waiting for you within the residence." Only then did Great Emperor North River enter. With a puppet female attendant guiding him along the corridor, he soon arrived at a garden. Within the garden, a white-robed Dongbo Shuang was currently seated cross-legged under the pavilion. A stick of incense was burning, causing its fragrance to permeate the air. By the side there were female attendants serving him. Delicious food and fruits were placed on the table. The flask of wine was also kept warm. Dongbo Shuang's eyes were closed. Clearly he was cultivating silently. These days are completely different. I've risked my life just for some food. And food is something this Yingshan Snow Eagle can obtain easily. Great Emperor North River had such a mental state. He had just experienced a huge crisis. Seeing how Dongbo Shuang was living, he could not help but feel envious and jealous. Amen? Dongbo Shuang stopped cultivating. He opened his eyes and glanced at Great Emperor North River, who was walking over from the distant corridor. "North River? You actually took the initiative to find me? How rare." Great Emperor North River said. Dongbo Shuang laughed coldly. "Do you think others will believe you just because you spread the news? Secondly, other cultivators only needed to look at the thousand-eyed water droplet to know whether it was useful to them or not. If it wasn't useful, who would be willing to pay a high price? In this sacred world, the other cultivators are much, much weaker than me in the path of the soul. It is impossible for you to sell it for a high price. Perhaps I might be able to sell it for a high price." Great Emperor North River looked at Dongbo Shuang. "Don't threaten me." Dongbo Shuang coldly said, "Firstly, my strength is unparalleled in the Broken Tooth Mountain Range. The 5 great supremes of the Broken Tooth Mountain Range have to give me some face. The moment they discover the thousand-eyed water droplet, I believe they will give it to me." Great Emperor North River trembled. Right. Perhaps they might discover a new thousand-eyed water droplet in the Broken Tooth Mountain Range. With the current strength of Dongbo Shuang, it was sufficient for him to kill most Grand Perfection God Emperor. How would the 5 great supremes dare to slight such strength? Secondly, it isn't hard for me to kill you. Dongbo Shuang stared at Great Emperor North River. At that moment, many thoughts flashed through the mind of Great Emperor North River. That's right, as long as Dongbo Shuang asked the founder of the hunting team for help, he believed an apex expert would be willing to give face to Dongbo Shuang. Without the help of his comrades, it was easy for him, North River, to lose his life when fighting outside. That time when I first came to the Scarlet Cloud City, you mentioned that we should put down our grudges in this world. Dongbo Shuang said, "I don't have any thoughts of acting against you. Are you sure you want to force me?" North River's expression turned ugly. With the current reputation of Dongbo Shuang, if he were to force him, his days would be bleak. It was entirely possible for him to fall into a desperate situation if his comrades did not help him. For instance, if Heart-Eye Sword Ancestor did not help him previously, he would have died. Oh no. Under despair, North River would activate the imprint on his wrist and head to the third world. Dongbo Shuang looked at him. He knew that North River could leave this sacred world in an instant and head to the third world. Hence, he was not in a rush to force the other party. But Dongbo Shuang believed that Great Emperor North River was ambitious and would not be willing to leave this world easily. 3 worlds. This was an opportunity given by Yuan. Every single world was treasured. Alright, 100 God Emperor Grand Perfection Chaotic Origin Lifeforms. I'll sell the thousand-eyed water droplet to you. Great Emperor North River gritted his teeth. 100 of them? Forget it, I'll take a step back. 20 of them. I won't sell any more than that. Dongbo Shuang coldly said. Great Emperor North River looked at Dongbo Shuang before saying, "You are really ruthless. Alright, hand it over." This time, Dongbo Shuang did not say anything else. He simply threw over a storage treasure. Great Emperor North River also threw over that thousand-eyed water droplet. Wah! The thousand-eyed water droplet was like a dewdrop. As it flew through the air, it even refracted many colors. Dongbo Shui-ing extended his hand, causing the thousand-eyed water droplet to land in his hand. I finally got it. Dongbo Shui-ing felt a wave of excitement. Even though it was possible for another thousand-eyed water droplet to appear in the Broken Tooth Mountain range in the future, it was too rare for such a supreme treasure to appear. It was normal for one to wait for 1 trillion years or even longer. The earlier he got it, the earlier he could comprehend it. Great Emperor North River looked at the 20 chaotic origin lifeform corpses within the storage treasure. He could not help but feel excited. No matter what, he had at least achieved his goal. Even though it was much lesser than what he expected. Go. Great Emperor North River turned around and left. Dongbo Shui-ing looked at the back of Great Emperor North River. Following that, he immediately began comprehending the thousand-eyed water droplet in his hand. He had many avatars. Some of them focused on the Tao of Void and others on the Tao of Mirage. Wanting to transcend? He did not give up on both Tao paths. Even though it seemed he had walked further in the Tao of Void, the Tao of Mirage was more heaven-defying. And now it was so strong. Furthermore, the moment he reached the final realm, Dongbo Shui-ing could vaguely sense it. At the very least, he could fuse his soul with the origin source of the world. By then, as long as a world existed, he would never die. This was what he could ascertain. There were still many things he had yet to ascertain. Only when he broke through would he know. The soul was the foundation of a life. He had to reach the final realm in the Tao of Soul. Dongbo Shui-ing was naturally looking forward to it. Time passed. Dongbo Shui-ing spent close to 10 billion years comprehending all 15 newly obtained Void Lineage God Emperor Grand Perfection Chaotic Origin Lifeform corpses. These 21 Void Lineage Chaotic Origin Lifeform corpses were carefully studied by Dongbo Shui-ing time and time again. He even corroborated with one another, deducing new cultivation techniques for the chaotic origin refinement body. During these days of cultivation, Dongbo Shui-ing would occasionally form a hunting team. The moment he did so, even if he agreed to take 90% of the spoils of war, it would still drive many cultivators in Scarlet Cloud City crazy. It was fine for the apex experts. Even if they took the initiative to join the hunting team, it was to befriend him. But most Grand Perfection God Emperor Late Stage God Emperor Realm experts would do their best to join the hunting team. But Dongbo Shui-ing had set a limit of 50 cultivators in the hunting team. After all, it was just hunting outside the city. There was no need for too many cultivators. Dongbo Shui-ing took the initiative to form a hunting team. During the first hunting mission, he obtained 75 Grand Perfection God Emperor Chaotic Origin Lifeform corpses. There were even more late-stage and middle-stage God Emperor Late-Stage and God Emperor Chaotic Origin Lifeform corpses. Even if only 10% of the corpses were left for the other members to distribute, most would still obtain enough food to last for billions of years. It was safe, easy, and short. Food that could last for billions of years was obtained. Naturally, the cultivators would do their best to join the hunting team. He formed teams several times. Firstly, it was to help his friends like God Eagle Snake, Scarlet Demon, and others. Secondly, it was to temper himself through battles. Dongbo Shui-ing would usually leave some chaotic origin lifeforms behind. He would not use his mirage and illusory realm to suppress them. In the blink of an eye, 100 billion years passed. There would be 4 chapters today. But the last 2 chapters would be later. Everyone could read them tomorrow morning. Star. Chapter 1369. In a hall. Dongbo Shui-ing and a man with dark blue hair sat opposite each other. The man's hair was messy, and his face was covered with a thick beard. However, his eyes seemed to be filled with endless wisdom. In between his brows, there was a slit that hid a third eye. It's rare for Emperor Feishua to come see me. The blue-haired man smiled. Emperor Arden Creek, Dongbo Shui-ing said, I've come here today to take a look at Emperor Arden Creek's cultivation manual. Scarlet Cloud City had more than 3,000 experts. Those who truly comprehended the Tao were few and far between. The absolute majority had chaotic origin bloodlines in their bodies. That was how they reached this realm. Moreover, there were even fewer Tao comprehenders who were skilled in the Void Tao. Of the dozens of supreme experts of Crimson Cloud City, there was only one masterclass God Emperor Taoist, who walked the path of the Void, Emperor Arden Creek. Among the late-stage Tao comprehenders of God Emperor, There were only 8 who cultivated the void lineage. Then 8 revolutions celestial river is indeed the highest achievement I have ever cultivated. Relying on this, I have cultivated a half-chaotic origin life-form body. Monarch Arden Creek nodded. I will not easily impart this cultivation scripture to others. What conditions do you need? Please state them, Imperial Emperor Arden Creek. Dongbua Shuang said. I wouldn't care if others came to beg me. However, I still have to give face to Sovereign Emperor Feishua. With a wave of his hand, Imperial Emperor Arden Creek tossed out a wooden token. As soon as Dongbua Shuang caught it, he immediately sensed the information contained within the wooden token. Boom, a large amount of information flowed into his mind. Then 8 revolutions celestial river was the only complete cultivation technique that Dongbua Shuang had obtained to reach the half-chaotic origin life-form body level. In reality, when Yuan bestowed the chaotic origin 7 strikes to Dongbua Shuang, he did not give him the cultivation technique to cultivate a half-chaotic origin life-form body. That was because, on the path towards becoming a chaotic origin life-form, he had to open it himself. Only by opening it himself would he have absolute control over it. Like those innate chaotic origin life-forms, even though they were born with the chaotic origin law, they could not unleash much of their strength. He could not learn the half-chaotic origin life-form body from others. Learning it would be a mistake. This was also the reason why Emperor Xia and Dongbua Shuang had parted ways. They both had their own goals. 8 transformations of the heavenly river was also a different path from Dongbua Shuang. 8 revolutions celestial river. In the beginning, it was the formation. Emperor Arden Creek was most skilled in formations, and he was able to use formations to manifest the void. After that, his array turned into the celestial river, giving him the complete final realm of Cosmos God. With every revolution of the heavenly river, it was as if the level of the world was rising. Then 8 revolutions celestial river had even touched upon some of the structural profound mysteries of the chaotic origin dimension. This 8 revolutions celestial river has many different structures. Feels like it's almost the same as an origin world. It's just that it's a little rougher. Dongbua Shuang thought to himself. The structure of an origin world was not complicated, but the more one experienced it, the more one would feel that the structure of an origin world was extremely meticulous. Although its structure was not complicated, it was extremely perfect. Even the weakest life form could survive in it. One had to know that in places like the world of thunder and the sacred world, those who were weaker would not be able to survive. Origin world. From the weakest to the weakest ants and even some worms. Even the strongest chaotic origin life forms could enter. It's just that their strength was suppressed. Many thanks, Emperor Arden Creek. If Emperor Arden Creek has anything you need my help with, feel free to tell me. Dongbua Shuang said. Because everyone walked on a different path, he could at least comprehend it, absorb it, and fuse it into his own Tao path. We are all on the Tao of Void, so let's support one another. If Emperor Feishua reaches the half-chaotic origin life-form body, I would have to trouble Emperor Feishua to let me learn a thing or two of the cultivation techniques that you created. Monarch Arden Creek said. This is something I should do. Dongbua Shuang added. I have another request that I hope Emperor Feishua can agree to. Monarch Arden Creek said. Please say. Dongbua Shuang said. I know that 9-headed snake ancestor has invited Emperor Feishua to join his team to hunt down the chaotic origin prisoner, Quiet Icy Mountain Master. Monarch Arden Creek said, I believe other than the heart and blood, the corpse will ultimately belong to Emperor Feishua. Am I right? Dongbua Shuang felt his heart moving. He nodded slightly. He did not deny it. Monarch Arden Creek said, I hope that I can comprehend the corpse of this chaotic origin prisoner together with Emperor Feishua. The time limit will be 100 million years. Is that possible? Comprehend it together? 100 million years? Dongbua Shuang muttered to himself. Monarch Arden Creek was slightly nervous. To Tao cultivators like them, comprehending the corpse of a chaotic origin prisoner was a huge temptation. All right. By then, you and I can comprehend it together. We can corroborate each other. Dongbua Shuang nodded. He could agree to it if it was just 100 million years. Only Monarch Arden Creek raised a few more requests. As for the other 8 Void Lineage God Emperor late-stage Tao cultivators in Scarlet Cloud City, Dongbua Shuang took the initiative to exchange 2 Grand Perfection God Emperor chaotic origin life-form corpses. These 8 cultivators were very willing. They were also willing to befriend Dongbua Shuang, allowing Dongbua Shuang to easily obtain the other 8 scriptures. Even though these 8 scriptures were only at the late-stage God-Emperor realm, and they were in other directions, they could still be used as references. By referencing the 9 scriptures in the Tao of Void, they comprehended and absorbed. Dongbo Shuiying had also comprehended the 21 chaotic origin lifeforms. In the following days, he would frequently spar with other cultivators. The experts in Scarlet Cloud City were still willing to give face to Dongbo Shuiying. They would spar with each other and verify each other's insights. Even though it was not a true life and death battle with chaotic origin lifeforms. But when he sparred with other cultivators, the techniques of the cultivators were much more unpredictable. They came from different worlds and specialized in techniques. Some of them even stunned Dongbo Shuiying. 9 scriptures, comprehending the corpses, sparring with each other. Dongbo Shuiying's accumulations became deeper. His chaotic origin refinement body was also being perfected. The gale was howling. Snow was flying everywhere. Dongbo Shuiying sat by himself under the pavilion watching the falling snowflakes. How difficult is it to attain a half-chaotic origin life-form body? Dongbo Shuiying thought. Even though his accumulations were deeper, he had yet to reach what he desired in both the Tao of Void and Tao of Mirage and Illusory Realm. He was still lacking slightly to attain a half-chaotic origin life-form body. It was still hard for him to stabilize his body completely. Tao of Mirage and Illusory Realm. Previously, the 3rd killing technique he created was heaven-defying enough. Even with the 1,000-eyed water droplet, it was still hard for him to create the 4th killing technique. Unknowingly, 300 billion years have passed. It is time to leave. Dongbo Shuiying chuckled. He turned towards the corner of the corridor. At the corner of the corridor, a handsome bald young man walked over. He was none other than one of the 3 city masters of Scarlet Cloud City, 9-headed snake ancestor. City Master 9-headed. Dongbo Shuiying stood up. How is Brother Feishua's cultivation? 9-headed snake ancestor chuckled. Is it suitable for you to go out and hunt for chaotic origin prisoners now? It has been 300 billion years since I made the agreement with City Master 9-headed. Dongbo Shuiying said, City Master 9-headed has asked me to cultivate until now. No matter what, now that City Master 9-headed has summoned me, I have to set off immediately. Ever since the 300 billion years period was up, I have been sending people to investigate. Only today did I discover that quiet icy mountain master is out on a patrol again. 9-headed snake ancestor said, the moment I discovered him, I immediately came to find Brother Feishua. Chapter 1370. Chaotic origin prisoners were constantly being punished and tortured. Occasionally their punishments would become heavier. Over time, they would be tortured to the point of being forced to patrol. If he didn't go on patrol, the pain would be even more terrifying. Only when they went on patrol would the cultivators have a chance to kill them. In the territory, the chaotic origin prisoner was too strong. It was impossible to kill him. It was time to patrol and leave his lair. The further he went, the more his strength dropped. Quiet icy mountain master is going out for a patrol today? Dongbo Shuiying's eyes lit up. Let's not waste any more time. Let's depart immediately. Brother Feishua, how's your current strength? How long can you maintain your peak state? 9-headed snake ancestor asked. Even though you don't have to risk your life in battle by then, you can easily deal against a large number of protectors. That chaotic origin prisoner, quiet icy mountain master, would most likely target you. I need to know Brother Feishua's strength so that I can make arrangements. I can maintain my peak condition for about an hour, Dongbo Shuiying said. 9-headed snake ancestor heaved a sigh of relief. Nearly an hour was a very long time. Based on what he knew, Dongbo Shuiying could only maintain his peak physical body for a short period of time. If that was the case, the mission of protecting Monarch Feishua would be very important. It was much easier now. An hour was enough for him to do a lot of things. Admirable, admirable. In just a short 300 billion years, Brother Feishua has improved so much. 9-headed snake ancestor said. It's a pity that I have yet to form a half-chaotic origin life-form body. Dongbo Shuiying said. These words of yours will make many late-stage God Emperor Tao cultivators jealous and envious. 9-headed snake ancestor laughed. Dongbo Shuiying himself knew that his cultivation speed was extremely fast. One reason for this was because his soul was strong enough. Thus, his speed of comprehension was much faster than before. On the other hand, after his soul reached such a level, it would nourish his physical body, allowing Dongbo Shuiying to ascertain the direction of his physical body's improvement. Only by knowing the direction could he improve so quickly. On the same day, 9-headed snake ancestor's cave dwelling. Everyone. Beside 9-headed snake ancestor stood Wuxiao and Dongbo Shuiying. 9-headed snake ancestor swept his gaze across the other cultivators in the hall. To be standing here. Half of them were top-notch experts. As for the remaining God Emperor, they were all experts in a certain aspect. Our team has a total of 56 people, and we've gathered the strongest experts in many aspects within Scarlet Cloud City. The 9-headed snake ancestor said, "Since everyone agreed to help me, the 9-headed snake ancestor, the 9-headed snake ancestor, will naturally remember this in my heart. As long as I succeed this time, my promise to everyone will be fulfilled. Furthermore, if I succeed in my ultimate awakening and become a chaotic origin life form, I won't treat you unfairly. Big Brother 9-heads, you've always helped us before. This time we'll naturally do our best. Brother 9-headed, we have so many experts here. We even have Monarch Fei Xue and City Master Wu Xiao. Those chaotic origin life forms can't stop us at all. That quiet icy mountain master is doomed." Immediately, several Grand Perfection God Emperor experts spoke up. As for the Apex experts, they were relatively more reserved. 9-headed snake ancestor clearly had an extraordinary charisma. He chuckled and nodded, "That's right. With Brother Fei Xue and Wu Xiao around, I'm more confident." Dongbo Shuiying and Wu Xiao both chuckled. The two of them understood that even though the 9-headed snake ancestor might seem humble, in terms of combat techniques, he and Weatherleaf were the most terrifying. Even though Wu Xiao was comparable to them in strength, he had fewer techniques and mainly relied on his fleshy body. "Is everyone prepared?" The 9-headed snake ancestor swept his gaze across. Nobody objected. "Then let us set off now. Go." The group of 56 cultivators immediately flew out of the cavern dwelling of City Master 9-headed. Dongbo Shuiying also noticed Monarch Arden Creek in this team. He could not help but transmit over, "Who would have thought that Monarch Arden Creek has joined us this time?" Monarch Arden Creek wasn't in the name list given by City Master 9-headed previously. At the start, I wasn't in a rush to join when 9-headed invited me. It's just that since I have made an agreement with Monarch Fei Xue, I will naturally have to do my part. Monarch Arden Creek transmitted back. Even though he was strong, he was only considered average amongst Apex experts. He was not qualified to ask for the corpse of a chaotic origin prisoner. Hence, he was too lazy to join previously. But now he was willing. Because Dongbo Shuiying would eventually get the corpse of a chaotic origin prisoner. Monarch Arden Creek naturally had to do his best to help. So. They soon leaped over the city walls and flew towards the vast wasteland. They have set off. They are hunting down a chaotic origin prisoner. Furthermore, it is the quiet icy mountain master who is relatively hard to deal with. Within Scarlet Cloud City, quite a few experts stood in their cavern dwellings. They could see that team flying away in midair. This team included the 2 Vice City Masters and Monarch Fei Xue. Too many elites were gathered here. This was a rare huge operation in the entire Scarlet Cloud City. Do you guys think we can succeed? If not for Monarch Fei Xue, we might only have a 10% to 20% chance. But with Monarch Fei Xue we have at least a 50% chance. It has been a long time since we successfully hunted down a chaotic origin prisoner. Many cultivators in the city were discussing about this matter. And at this moment, Weatherleaf was also seated in the garden of his cavern dwelling. He was watching as that team left Scarlet Cloud City. 9-headed has gone to hunt down the chaotic origin prisoner. Weatherleaf softly shook his head. It's a pity that a good friend has chosen the path of ultimate awakening. He understood the predicament his good friend was in. Breaking through with force? This path was too difficult. It was almost impossible. Controlling an origin world? Nobody could help 9-headed snake ancestor reincarnate. Even if the path of ultimate awakening was the simplest, it had caused too many God Emperor to be stuck at the bottleneck of grand perfection. I hope he succeeds. Weatherleaf thought, at least his luck is not bad. With the help of Monarch Fei Xue, it is possible for him to hunt down the quiet icy mountain master. Outside the city. On the surface of Wu Zhao's skin, many machines that could not be seen by the naked eye immediately flew out. These machines were so small that they were even smaller than the particles in the body of ordinary cultivators. Countless machines flew out in different directions. Even though these machines were small, there were many of them. But they were incredibly tough. Even a Grand Perfection God Emperor would have to expend quite a lot of energy to destroy one of them. These tiny machines were divided into different types. Their scouting methods were different. It was almost impossible to escape from their detection using different methods. In terms of large-scale scouting, Wuxia was the undisputed #1 expert in Scarlet Cloud City. Chi. There was also a cultivator who had an enormous eye that contained many mysteries. He could easily look in all directions, observing one direction after another from the distance to carry out his investigation. Including Wuxia, the 3 experts in charge of scouting were using their own techniques. More domains descended. The entire team disappeared. They were stealthily advancing through the desolate plains. This is the current location of the quiet icy mountain master and the approximate distribution of the surrounding chaotic origin lifeforms. We have already investigated them. 9-headed snake ancestor used his communication treasure to transmit this information to every team member. We will be proceeding according to this first route. We should be able to reach in 2 days. Dongbo Shuiying and the others agreed with 9-headed snake ancestor's arrangement. 9-headed snake ancestor had made ample preparations. July. Snow Eagle Overlord would also end this month. Chapter 1371. Dongbo Shuiying could feel that this team was clearly much stronger than the team established by Taoist Hidden Horizon previously. Rushing for a full day, this team was only discovered by a group of chaotic origin lifeforms. That was the first battle they had after leaving Scarlet Cloud City. In reality, this battle was because 9-headed snake ancestor and the others had discussed and felt that taking a detour wasn't suitable. It was better for them to just crush their way through. Kill? This team clashed with a large group of blackbirds. 9-headed snake ancestor roared out. At the same time, 9 huge snake illusions appeared behind him. The 9 snakes swayed. Every snake was emitting a different energy. The 9 different energies instantly formed an enormous 9-colored domain that suppressed in all directions. Haha, let's kill to our heart's content. Wu Xiao guffawed. With a sway of his body, he turned into a 3,000 meters tall silvery white giant. Extending his hand, his palm directly grabbed at a Grand Perfection God Emperor chaotic origin lifeform flying beast. That black bird struggled in an attempt to escape. But as Wu Xiao's palm descended, strange layers of energy bound this black bird. Could not escape at all. Following that enormous palm grabbed hold of this black bird. With a single grab, the center of the palm caved in like a black hole that devoured this bird. A Grand Perfection chaotic origin lifeform God Emperor had been captured alive in a single move. This strength even made Dongbo Shuiying slightly raise his eyebrows. Some of the apex experts in Scarlet Cloud City could kill a Grand Perfection chaotic origin lifeform God Emperor one-on-one. As for the 3 city masters, they were much more straightforward. Of which Wu Xiao, who had the most terrifying fleshy body, might not have as many techniques as the other 2 city masters, Weather Leaf and 9-headed snake ancestor, but his techniques were purer. Most importantly, it was his fleshy body. Just based on how terrifying his fleshy body was, he could stand side by side with the other 2. At this moment, he could easily capture a Grand Perfection chaotic origin lifeform God Emperor. Celestial River. Emperor Arden Creek attacked as well. A bizarre river appeared around him, and this river was covered with layers of illusory images. If one looked closely, one would see that this terrifying river had a total of 8 illusory images, and they seemed to appear on different levels of space. When those chaotic origin lifeforms entered the region affected by this river, they seemed to have lost their way. They could not find their companions, much less their enemies. The cultivators could easily defeat them one by one. Forget about 9-headed snake ancestor and Wu Xiao. The other apex experts present had their own techniques. Even if God Emperor had 10 or 20 Grand Perfection chaotic origin lifeforms, they could easily deal with them. Not to mention working together now. Even those experts with the strength of a Grand Perfection God Emperor in the team were chosen because they were outstanding in certain aspects. When they worked together, the effects were miraculously good. It was a one-sided massacre. Brother Feishue, you must not use any spiritual attacks along the way. The 9-headed snake ancestor transmitted a message. If your soul technique is discovered by the quiet icy mountain master, he will immediately choose to escape. When it is time to use it, I'll inform you. City Master 9-headed, rest assured. Dongbo Shuiying chuckled. All right, previously when I went out with Taoist Hidden Horizon and the others, I have used my soul technique. After that, I have also used it when hunting outside the city. Will the quiet icy mountain master receive the news? Rest assured. City Master Nine-Headed confidently transmitted, there are many innate chaotic origin life forms in the sacred world, and they are split into many tribes. Different tribes do not interact with each other. At least from what we can see, they are all from the same tribe. There are practically no interactions between the different tribes. The small twists and turns along the way are not worth mentioning to us. That is why I asked you to hide your soul technique. But remember, the moment we meet the chaotic origin lifeform tribe under the quiet icy mountain master, quiet destruction wolves, you must be even more vigilant. Because the moment we reveal ourselves and frighten the quiet icy mountain master, he might not give us another chance. Understood. They continued moving forward. It was a relaxing journey. With the strength of this team, as long as they were careful and did not offend any powerful enemies, they would not face any danger. Torrential rain poured down. In the sky above the lake, many huge fishes flew out and killed their way towards Dongbu Shuiying and the others. Another huge battle ensued. Dongbu Shuiying wielded a spear in his hand. He was only slightly executing it. Nine-headed snake ancestor had always been protecting Dongbu Shuiying by his side. He did not allow Dongbu Shuiying to encounter any danger at all. Monarch Feishue? Suddenly, a transmission came from his communication treasure. Dongbu Shuiying diverted a strand of his consciousness to check it. I am the Vice City Master of Sky Noon City, Sun Yi. I have relied on the treasure spirits of Sky Noon Hall and Scarlet Cloud Hall to contact you. City Master Sun Yi? Dongbu Shuiying was startled. I wonder, why are you looking for me, Sun Yi? He was the only Dao of Void cultivator that was ranked as a City Master and Vice City Master in the 5 assembly grounds of the sacred world. I heard that you are currently working together with Nine-Headed Snake Ancestor and the others to deal against Quiet Icy Mountain Master? Sun Yi transmitted with a smile. City Master Sun Yi's news is indeed well informed. Dongbu Shuiying replied. It was normal for Sun Yi to know about this matter since the 5 cities were in contact with each other. Don't blame me for speaking harshly. City Master Nine-Headed wants to use the heart and blood of Quiet Icy Mountain Master to cultivate and achieve an ultimate awakening. He has already planned this many times. That Quiet Icy Mountain Master has long been frightened and is constantly vigilant. Furthermore, among the 3 Void Lineage Chaotic Origin prisoners, Quiet Icy Mountain Master is the strongest. He is too vigilant and powerful. The chances of you killing him are too low. City Master Sun Yi transmitted, even if you have that heaven-defying soul technique of yours, Monarch Feishue, easily dealing with those protectors, the chances of you succeeding are less than 50%. Dongbu Shuiying had to admit that what Sun Yi said was logical. Quiet Icy Mountain Master was indeed the hardest to deal with among the 3 Void Lineage Chaotic Origin prisoners. Monarch Feishue, you are a Dao cultivator. You only need the corpse to comprehend it. Any one of the 3 Void Lineage Chaotic Origin prisoners isn't too different to you. City Master Sun Yi transmitted, let me invite you. After this matter is over, come to my Sky Noon City. I will build a team to deal against one of the 3 Void Lineage Chaotic Origin prisoners, Golden River Master. Golden River Master is much easier to deal with than Quiet Icy Mountain Master. The moment I succeed, I only need to comprehend this corpse for 1 billion years. You can also comprehend it together with me. After 1 billion years, you can bring the entire corpse away. How about that? Like Dongbu Shuiying, he had yet to attain a half-chaotic origin lifeform body. He still needed to accumulate more experience. And City Master Sun Yi had long attained a half-chaotic origin lifeform body. He was incredibly powerful. What he needed was a spark. Perhaps a spark might allow him to break through. If he could not break through in 1 billion years, that corpse of a chaotic origin prisoner would be useless to him. Let's talk about it after this matter is over. Dongbu Shuiying transmitted. Also, Monarch Feishue, I have to remind you that you are currently in the most dangerous situation in the team. The moment that Quiet Icy Mountain Master falls into a desperate situation, he will definitely choose to kill you under his madness. As long as he kills you, he can easily escape with his many protectors. He might even retaliate. Hence you must be careful. If you die under the retaliation of Quiet Icy Mountain Master, it won't be worth it. Many thanks for City Master Sun Yi's reminder. Dongbu Shuiying became more vigilant. If he was forced to activate his imprint and leave this world, it would not be worth it. Because Quiet Icy Mountain Master was out on a patrol, his location was also moving. Dongbu Shuiying and the others changed their route accordingly. After spending 2.5 days they finally arrived at their destination smoothly, a location where Quiet Icy Mountain Master was on his way back. We are currently blocking Quiet Icy Mountain Master's way back. He wants to return to his territory? He definitely can't evade us. Nine-headed snake ancestor swept his gaze across the surroundings. This is the most hopeful time for me. I hope for everyone to lend me a hand. Rest assured. City Master Nine-headed, since we have agreed, we will naturally do our best. Everyone acknowledged. Nine-headed snake ancestor nodded. All right. Now, let us get closer to this chaotic origin prisoner. So, the team moved forward once again. Because they had taken a huge detour, they were already on the other party's way back. In addition to Dongbu Shuiying and his team moving at their fastest speed, they were much faster than Quiet Icy Mountain Master, who was heavily suppressed and punished. They were not worried that the other party could escape. They had always been moving forward carefully. The distance between both parties was constantly shrinking. It's just that the chaotic origin prisoner Quiet Icy Mountain Master had been ambushed several times. He was already very vigilant. The closer they were to him, the more scouts he sent. It's the cultivators. Kill them. Finally, Dongbu Shuiying and his team were discovered by a team of chaotic origin lifeforms, Quiet Destruction Wolves. No choice. They were too concentrated. We have been exposed. We can't care anymore. Now let's charge over at our fastest speed. Nine-headed snake ancestor and the others did not hold back at all. They disregarded all obstructions and charged over at their fastest speed. The chaotic origin prisoner Quiet Icy Mountain Master was wearing a dark golden robe. His hair was let down and his aura was extraordinary. It's just that his wrists and ankles were shackled too. The shackles even extended into the void. The golden inscriptions on the shackles were constantly lighting up. All sorts of torture descended on every part of his body. There will be a day when we innate chaotic origin lifeforms suffer from slavery and torture will be returned back to those overlords by 1,000 times. Quiet Icy Mountain Master's heart was filled with killing intent and hatred. Any high-graded chaotic origin lifeform that was imprisoned in the sacred world had to suffer. They had even become whetstones for these weak cultivators. These days were filled with despair and agony. They felt humiliated too. Overlord, even though he was filled with hatred and anger. Thinking about those weak lifeforms that cultivated and eventually stood at the highest level in the chaotic origin dimension, becoming the most terrifying overlords, Quiet Icy Mountain Master could not help but feel fear. These overlords were simply too powerful. The overlords protected large regions and many origin worlds. They will die. Those weak lifeforms and those origin worlds should be the food for us innate chaotic origin lifeforms. Quiet Icy Mountain Master felt resentful. King, we discovered a team of cultivators. King, there is a team of cultivators that discovered the cultivator Nine-headed Snake Ancestor. King, we discovered Nine-headed Snake Ancestor. Many voice transmissions sounded in the heart of Quiet Icy Mountain Master. Quiet Icy Mountain Master's expression changed. Nine-headed Snake Ancestor? Because of the several assaults, Quiet Icy Mountain Master had long treated Nine-headed Snake Ancestor as a thorn in his side. He had even passed down detailed information regarding Nine-headed Snake Ancestor. The moment any chaotic origin life form under him discovered Nine-headed Snake Ancestor, they would immediately report to him. They are here again? The eyes of Quiet Icy Mountain Master flashed with a murderous light. That you're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.